I
Ladies
already
and
hit it.
gentlemen, welcome to
What
this
up?
evening's Hero Hour Escape from Reality. What episode are we on now? 5? 6?
Six.
Ooh,
Six.
we're getting there.
Episode 6, bro.
Yes, I love it.
How we doing
So
tonight,
how's it been?
folks? Dude,
How you been?
it's been.
It's been.
It's been.
It's been.
So, before we get into the big shit,
Mm-hmm.
the Comic-Con stuff,
Ugh.
how was
Okay.
the Tampa Bay Comic-Con?
So
Was it worth it?
yes, it is worth. So it is. Okay, this is how worth it is. By the way, it is 30 minutes from the house.
Oh, wow.
I will next year, I will get a hotel and stay there. Like I'll get
Hell
a
yeah.
hotel and stay down there because it's just worth not having to pay, like screw with traffic and parking and all that stuff.
Right.
You know, I'm used to OhioCon, which is more anime, you know, inspired anyway. This one was kind of a conglomerate of everything. It was comic, anime. I mean, it was just kind of across the board. There was GI Joe stuff. There was like old school stuff there too.
Okay.
So, but it was, I mean, it was massive, dude. It
Now,
was,
did they have any panels?
Yes.
Like, did they,
Yes.
do they do panels at other cons?
yeah, it's the exact
Like
same
what?
thing. So like, well, here, I downloaded the app because we kept getting lost trying to find things. They have their own like convention app.
Okay.
Let me see if I can figure out how to work this thing. Okay, so it's kind of gives you a rundown. I don't know if this says the panels or anything, but like, there was a Lego building room. There was signing
Okay.
booths. Like, basically, this. I'm trying to explain to you. I mean, just picture a huge convention hall, and the long back wall and the short side wall was all signatures. Like
Holy
that was
shit.
all celebrities, whether it be voice actors or actors. Like Dean Cain was there, William Shatner. You kind of have to have a big con to have William Shatner. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Um.
Were there any like mega stars? I mean, obviously William Shatner was a mega star
Yeah.
years before our time. Were there any like mega stars of our generation?
No.
Like, did we
'cause
have
I mean,
any
you had, like,
Kevin Conroy's?
no, you
Troy
had like
Bakers?
Summer Glau. I'm trying to think of some other ones. You know, Murr. His name's Jason from what's that show called? The Jokesters or something like that? Where they?
Oh, Impractical Jokers.
That's it. He was there.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was there. He was doing stand up all 3 days, and he was doing signatures and whatnot. So that was pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Of course, Sean was there. That's the one I was happy about. Lewis and Daniel Moncada, the twins from Breaking Bad,
Oh shit.
they were there. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean, there was some, you know, it wasn't just like older generation or, you know, guys who've been around forever. You know, there were still some guys there
Right,
that
right.
we're familiar
Now,
with.
let me ask you this: was meeting Sean? So you know how a lot of people are always like, "Oh, I'll never meet your heroes because they're never going to be what you expect."
Right.
How was your interaction with Sean?
Okay, so we got there kind of late. I think we got into the convention like 12:30.
Okay.
The doors opened at 10:30, so we got there pretty late.
Yeah.
But we made a beeline for Sean. Like we were like, all right, let's go get the signature, let's go get the photo op, and we can just peruse the whole convention. Because as we're walking through, I'm like, this place is massive.
Right.
So we go straight there. We get in line. The line was, I mean, it really wasn't that long. There was maybe 50 people in the line. It wasn't stupid long. I've waited a lot longer for less, you know.
Right.
We get in line, you know, go all the way through. We get to the line, and I can hear, like, we get like 2 or 3 people from the autograph, and I can hear Sean talking about like he needs to eat something. He hasn't eaten since 7:30. I'm like, get this man a pizza. You know, I'll go buy a pizza. You know, I was at that point. And he was like, I gotta go to lunch. He's like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I'm like, I get it. Like, you've been standing here from basically 9:30. It's going on 1 o'clock now.
Right.
And he hasn't eaten, and he's got digestive issues anyway. Like anyway. So literally first guy up, and they're like, he's gonna go on lunch. Like, no, it was one of those. It was like, he's right there.
Son of a bitch.
But he even, like, as he's getting ready to walk away, he's like, guys, I'll be back. He's like, I gotta go eat something. He's like, I don't really feel that great, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I was at that point where, like, just do you, go take care of yourself.
Right. Gotta take care of yourself.
I want you to come back. If I want you to have issues. He's a human being. All these people aren't,
Right.
So they were like, okay, it was funny because his handler was like, all right, we're gonna take a quick break. And Sean, like, putting his backpack on. He whips around. He's like, I'm going to lunch. Don't tell them we're going on a quick break. He's like, because you make it sound like I'm gonna be back in 15 minutes, and I'm not. And so he's like, all right, we're gonna go on lunch. He gets an hour. So we stood there and we waited. Like, literally, I was the next person in line, and we waited there because there was maybe 20 people behind us. And some of them left. Some of them left. They were like, I ain't fucking waiting, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I got all the time in the world. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, right.
And so, yeah, he went on lunch. And I mean, it took a little longer than it was funny because we were standing with some guys, and they were actually pretty cool. Like, we were joking and carrying on, having a good time. He finally, like, he took a little longer than an hour. And one of the guys was like, man, does this dude eat like Goku too or something? Because Goku in the shows, he just mouths down on piles of food, right?
Right.
So we're
I mean, you have to. You're a god.
He's a god, and he's trained, so he's constantly intaking food. And
yeah.
So we were like, is he eat like Goku? Is he take on the full personification of Goku? And about that time, he walks in, and everyone starts cheering, and he's like, sorry guys, I had to eat like Goku. And we're like, yes. Like, it was just one of those things, like, between me and this other guy. But he got there and he's like, guys, I'm so sorry it took a little longer, blah blah blah. And I had we'd already paid, and we kind of moved down, and I took my drawing that I did out, which I'll show it for the people who can see this on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I took it out and set it down. We were waiting. He comes around the corner and he, like, slams his hands down on the table, and he's like, all right, who drew this? And he looks at, like, and obviously I'm standing right in front of him, but he couldn't tell, like, who in the line was there. And I was like, I did. And he goes, this is awesome. I'm like, oh, that felt good. Like, I don't even need you to sign it now. Like, that itself, was badass. But he's like,
full disclosure, everybody, I told Doug like 15 times how good it was, so I guess I'll just go fuck myself.
No, it's
my
not that.
opinion
Like,
didn't matter, but
hell,
Sean Schmeckel or whatever his name is.
I even had my my sister-in-law who draws, like, she's a very good artist. She draws stuff for cons all the time. She has that same mind concept as me, where I don't want to just take a random figure or a pop to have them sign. I want something to have a little more meaning. So this was the first time I've drawn something and had someone sign it. But this is what we got.
Excuse me.
There you go.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That looks so good.
What I got drawn up, and possibly and more than likely gonna get this as a tattoo also.
You absolutely should, bro. You absolutely should. Just get it like
it's gonna be such a good piece. Yeah,
get it like right here on your arm.
It's gonna be full color and everything, and then have his signature either
so gnarly
right off to the side or somewhere incorporated in it.
That would be so gnarly, dude.
He was like, dude, this is awesome. He signs it, and we did the picture. We did the Kamehameha, and I had my damn boo hat on, dude. I was burning. I
saw that.
Oh my god, I was so warm. But he was like, and he, like, as he turned away, I got ready to turn away, and he kind of like, hey man, I really appreciate you waiting. And he, like, fist bumped me and stuff. I'm like,
that's awesome, dude.
Like, he was really cool about it. Like, he wasn't a dick by any means. So it was one of those things where, yeah, they say don't meet your, your heroes or whatever, because you don't want to be disappointed. But it was one of those things where it's like, I'm willing to risk it,
Right, absolutely, dude.
But dude, we walked around for 4.5 hours.
Jesus.
And didn't see everything. We ended up, like, the wife was hurting, so we called it quits. And
Right.
there was a few things I saw where I was like, oh, I want that. I want that. I want that. Like, it was a
Did you
point
buy
where
anything?
I didn't, but we went back today. That's where I was today.
Of course.
Yeah, we went back and we ended up parking closer, so it was a lot better of it because we got there at like 9:30. The doors opened at 10:30, and it was so like we walked straight in. There was a few things that I saw the last time. I was like, I kind of want to get these, so I got one of my holy grail. It's not to many people, but I got a holy grail figure that I've been searching for, and it's the Super Saiyan God.
Oh, nice.
That you can't even find it anymore. If you do, you're paying like $100+.
Right.
We ended up getting this one and another one for the steel.
That's awesome.
That Spirit Spider figure I told you about that I was looking for, they had one, but
So you bought it?
well, they were a little high. They wanted $90 for it, and the guy was like, I'll take 80 because on Sunday's your deal day, right?
Yeah.
Friday's your scout, Sundays your do your everything, see what you want, you know.
Right.
And then Sundays are like, all right, these people are wanting to get rid of shit, they're gonna cut some deals. So the guy was like, 90, I'll take 80. I'm like, it wasn't worth 80 to me because you can get that figure like eBay
Wasn't
or
it like
something.
$50?
It was like $50. Yeah, and I was like, I'm not gonna let buying at a con get in my head because that has happened before. I've bought some things overpriced because of it. So I hopped on eBay and was like, it was a buy it now option for $50. Like, so that's on its way.
Yeah, dude. See, that is my only fear.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm like 100% dead set on going to San Diego next year.
Yeah.
For the legit, like the big boy Comic-Con, I'm like dead set on it. I am so fucking scared that I'm gonna let that get into my head where I'm just like, I am gonna buy everything.
I am big on trying to find, like, there's certain things that you will find deals on, right? Like this figure that I got, this little pop, and this other one we got, you know, together, we were looking at like $250. Because it was Sunday, I was like, take 150 for both. And they were like, yep. So, you know, you can get some deals. There's this other guy. Dude, this is the craziest thing. This blew my mind. This is some like Inception shit. I was on Instagram like a week before this, and maybe it was because it was like, oh, you're in the area. But there's this guy, his name is Dominic Glover, and he does these incredibly detailed prints of just all anime. He was there. He was there.
I can hear you.
Okay. He was there at the show, and I'm like, wow, like my mind is blown. So I end up getting, again, sorry for the people just listening on other channels, but I'm gonna show my stuff.
You can check us out on Facebook Gaming.
Facebook.
In order to see this stuff. That Doug dude and Brones.
So we got
dude.
We got this
that
badass,
is wicked.
This badass Vegeta. To get the glare out of there.
That is wicked.
And then that's still the Vegeta. Dropped the wrong one.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So the Ultra Instinct Goku.
That's awesome.
And he has these same prints in like a shifting. So they, as you look at them, they shift from one thing to another.
That's fucking sick.
And then this Brawly.
Hell yeah.
So those, he has the prints where like it's one of those where if you shift it, it kind of changes from one picture to another.
Oh, okay.
And he has those as well. But the deal.
Are you gonna put them on the wall behind you?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna put those like right here.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of figuring.
Yeah, because
That's awesome.
I got a frame for my signature as well, and I got a frame for another picture that I've got signed. But dude, I 100% recommend if you're in the area, or even if you're not, if you're a couple hours out and you're near Tampa, 100% worth it. Get a hotel, come down, check it out. It will have a good time. And of course, the cosplayers that were there were like, they were awesome. So
Were they?
they had a 1960s Justice League, and it was all like older people dressed up as all of the Justice League characters, and it was
That's
so
fucking
cool.
awesome.
I'll have to send a picture to you, dude. It was
That
awesome.
is awesome.
I loved it. Like they did
That's
a
cool.
very good job. Like you, they had was it Hawkeye or not Hawkeye? It was Hawk Girl. I forget what his name is.
Green Arrow?
No. It's Hawk something. I can't remember. I'm not.
Hawkman?
I think it is Hawkman. But there was a Hawk.
Or is it the wait, okay. Does he look like a big ass bird, or is he wearing red and white?
No, he had like the gold mask with the like feathers on top of it.
That's Hawkman.
Yeah, Hawkman. So they took this picture, and it's all of them. And like I said, I think there was like 7 or 8 of them. It was like the whole Justice League, and all of them are looking at the camera except Hawkman. He's like, because it's like they're all old and on walkers and
That's
shit. Dude, it was
awesome.
so good. It was hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Highly recommend it. Even if you're scared to go to your local con, go. You go for one day, go on the Saturday, check it out. That way you know. Do
Right.
it. I promise you'll have a good time.
Oh fuck.
I'm pretty sure there's some good ones in Philly as well.
Yeah, there's Wizard Con. I've wanted to go there, but I don't have anyone to go with. Like that was
Yeah.
I'm a weird person when it comes to going out, like in public.
Yeah.
I don't like to go anywhere by myself.
No,
you know,
I'm with you. And con is one of those things where it definitely is fun to
it's
go
more
with.
it's
With
enjoyable.
a group or at least another person, because you can both enjoy the whole thing. But yeah.
Exactly. I don't like going to the movies by myself. I don't like going to cons by myself. I don't like going to shooting ranges by myself.
I want to enjoy it with everyone else.
It's more enjoyable when you have more people with you. Is that a big ass bottle of hot sauce sitting on your futon?
That is a giant sriracha bottle. Yeah. There is no, okay, so it has no sriracha in it, but it contained a bottle of sriracha.
Sorry, I've been looking at that thing for like the last, how long have we been recording?
17
minutes. I've been looking at that for the last 17 minutes, and I was just so confused on what it was. All I see is a big ass chicken in the center of that. I was like, I need to ask.
Yeah, that's a big old bottle of Silasat. So it was sitting over here on this end of the futon, but like as I'm gaming, I realized that like I covered it up, and people love the sriracha bottle. So I was like, I got to make sure everyone can see that, because when the lights are on, it's perfect.
Because I was gonna say, I don't remember seeing that the last time.
Yeah,
So...
it was over here behind me, and I'm like, I gotta move it. So like the last few streams, I moved it over here in between. I got Iron Yoshi and Kirby.
Iron Yoshi. Sorry that I'm yawning so much.
You're good,
dude. I went to sleep at 3 o'clock this morning.
Sure. We went to bed early because we knew we had to get out of here early. Granted, it was only, like I said, it's like a 28-minute drive. But dude, we could not have picked. Side note, we could have not have picked a better location to move.
Yeah, right.
Just where we're at and how close we are to everything. It's
That's
insane.
awesome. Hell yeah.
So we have, besides con, we have a lot to talk about. Ladies and
much
gentlemen,
to talk about, dude.
San Diego Comic-Con has introduced us, more specifically, the Marvel Hall has introduced us to what we are calling, what they are calling, the Multiverse Saga. And here we go.
I literally just have this pulled up, like in between both of our faces.
Yeah. I have it pulled up on my other monitor, but I'm blown away. Like you and I were getting the notifications and sending them to each other. How we didn't overlap on a single one, I don't know, but there is so much coming out. But what they call this, phase 5 and 6?
Yeah, phase 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Dude, holy fuck.
I mean, this is literally, so, you know, the first Iron Man came out in what?
2008.
Yes. So since 2008, right? we have been, you know, we've come accustomed to these characters: Iron Man, Cap, Thor, Banner. I mean, just the core group, right?
Yes.
But we haven't seen many branches, you know. Just recently we've seen the branch off to more characters: Moon Knight,
Right.
Miss Marvel, you know, just it. And I'm so glad that we're finally branching out, because those characters are very important. Wow. Very
important. They're super important,
They're
guys.
very important for everything.
They're
No,
super important.
super duper. They're very important for literally all the stories that come
They
together.
really are. They
And
really
now
are.
We're seeing more. I love it. I love it.
Dude,
Love every bit of it.
so stoked.
So
Fuck me, man. How do I stop yawning?
put your thumb on the roof of your mouth. No, just don't do that. That's for that's for a brain freeze. So if we are both on the same page, the first thing we see, which is actually coming up, I think
Here.
fairly soon. Yeah.
I can figure out if we're on the same page.
Mhm.
This one.
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, what am I looking at? I was like, am I looking at the phone or am I looking at the glare? I got you. I got you. Yes, we are on the same page. All right,
So,
ladies and gentlemen, the
hold
first
on.
thing.
First off, to be completely clear,
Yeah.
with the current phase that we're in,
Yep.
none of the shit was adding up. Nothing was making sense.
No.
You know, obviously in Loki we get introduced to Jonathan Majors, who
Yep.
plays He Who Remains.
Yep.
But also at the end of Loki stated that there was a variant of his named Kang who is keen on taking over the entire fucking universe.
Yeah, and we're
So that
talking
was our
another
first.
Thanos level villain.
Yes. Probably even worse than Thanos, because if you remember,
Yeah,
Thanos needed the glove to be as powerful as he was, whereas Kang
is just
is
powerful.
just fucking dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. He can
You know.
control the multiverse just by being there. So
So
Yeah.
there was a lot of things that made zero sense when I was watching all of these movies and these TV shows, and I was like, how the fuck is this building up at all?
Yeah.
To anything that we may or may not know is coming.
mhm.
You know what I mean? I was like, how the hell, you know, as much as I love the Moon Knight show,
Yeah.
by the way, if you haven't seen Moon Knight yet, you are missing out. It is
10 out of 10,
absolutely
recommend.
incredible.
Yeah.
Such a phenomenal show.
It's so good.
But as I was watching Moon Knight, I was like, how does this connect with literally anything
Yeah.
that we have watched? I know that it's canon to the MCU because in the one episode when Steven first gets the pinup suit
hmm
or the three-piece suit,
Yeah.
you see that that organization that was formed for people that came back after the snap
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
on that bus, on
Yep.
that big double-decker bus.
Yep.
You see that? I was like, boom, there's our first indication that
It's in the same
that
universe.
Moon Knight is happening some point after
Mhm.
the events of Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah. So
So I was like, okay, that's a little bit of a connection, but what about everything else? You know,
literally
Multiverse of
nothing about
Madness.
literally nothing else about Moon Knight connected it.
Not at all.
It was which
But then,
was kind of nice. I mean, it was nice to have its own
Oh, yeah.
separation from everything without too many tie-ins and being like, oh well, this is what's gonna, you know. I like
right,
that. I
right.
like that.
It was nice having a little bit of a separation in Moon Knight
Mhm.
because we really needed to understand, for people that don't know about the character, we really
Yeah.
needed a full-fledged origin and explanation about his mental disorder
Mhm.
and all of that other stuff. We needed to know what was going on with him and each one of his personalities. So I
Yeah.
thought that they did a very good job with that.
Agreed.
The only other thing that has come out in phase 4 that makes sense and is connecting to this overall multiversal saga is Multiverse of Madness, where
Yeah.
they first introduced the Illuminati and showed
Well,
us
a
bouncing
version.
between, well,
A
a
version.
version of the Illuminati, yes.
It's not the
A
one we're
version
familiar
of the
with.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
Correct. But so yeah, I was
But
like,
it's also the
okay,
first time we're seeing that literal multiverse other than Spider-Man. Like,
right, yeah,
you know, you brought three of the same character to one universe, so okay, I get there's a multiverse, but they
yeah.
didn't really explain in those verses, is there other people, you know?
Well, see, yeah, I was gonna say that they stated in No Way Home that that both Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man don't have an Avengers team.
Right.
An Avengers team does not exist on
In
either
those
one of their
universes,
Earths.
correct.
So, by the way, that movie was way overhyped. Loved it. Don't get me wrong. Loved that movie.
You know,
Definitely not the best one.
it was very good, in the sense of seeing all three together. Because
Yeah.
you know, we've both had the discussion. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans are a little lackluster. Okay.
Yes.
Looking back now, it's like, nah, I could just not watch those and I'd be okay.
Yeah. If you're watching them now as an adult and you
Ugh.
grew up with those films,
You're like,
watching
what
them
the
now
fuck
as an
is wrong
adult,
with me?
those movies are fucking garbage.
But you, it's the
Just putting
Sam.
that out
It's
there.
the Sam Raimi toss. I mean, you know, that's,
Yeah.
I get it. Whatever. The Sam Raimi
I mean,
universe.
he did good with Multiverse of Madness,
He did.
though. I gotta give him that. I loved Multiverse.
But for me, I think it was not necessarily the storyline of No Way Home or whatever it was called,
Right.
but it was the fact of seeing all three of those characters
Right.
come
Yeah.
to, like, the whole thought process of that come to fruition.
Mhm.
And then the one big thing, obviously, for most people, this shouldn't be a spoiler, but if it is, you should have seen it by now.
Yeah. If it is, tough shit.
uh Andrew Garfield's character kind of getting his redemption, right?
Yeah.
By saving MJ. I mean, that was a
Yep.
huge moment, because in the comics and in the movie, obviously, that destroyed him. I mean, it would anybody. It would a normal human being,
Yeah.
let alone a team.
When he lost Gwen.
When he loses Gwen, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So him getting that redemption to save MJ, I mean, it was just like earth shattering, like that message that, like, you could see it in his face. It was like a lift of pain, you know?
Yeah.
And
100%.
I think those few scenes and just the interaction between the three, I liked a lot. But the movie
Yeah,
itself
oh, yeah.
was me.
There was a lot of plot holes. A lot of plot
Yeah.
holes in that movie. I mean, like, the one thing that really annoyed me with that was, like, they brought in Charlie Cox just to confirm that he was coming back as Matt
Yeah.
Murdock Daredevil. There was
And
nothing
that- it
leading
was the
up to
same
him coming
universe.
back.
Yeah.
And he showed up for literally
30
one
seconds.
scene for, yeah, like 30 seconds. Oh, you're cleared of all your charges. Boom, catches a brick from behind. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
a
how'd
very
you do
good
that?
lawyer.
I'm a good
Like-
lawyer. It's
Like,
kind of cheesy, but all
so
right.
where the fuck did you come from?
Yeah.
Because I remember I read that they like had to cut a bunch of scenes out, and one of those scenes was like a long interrogation of Peter,
Yeah.
and Charlie Cox was supposed to appear as his lawyer
Yep.
to like going from point A to what we got in the movie with him being cleared of all of his charges. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's kind of bullshit.
It was like they
Like-
completely cut, you know, a good 30 minutes of footage that would have
Yeah.
explained or made that a little bit better.
Right. It would have made a lot more sense.
I digress.
There were moments that, yeah, like you said, there was moments where I was just like, how did we get from this point to this point?
Yeah.
You know,
But yeah, so
we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about
what's coming?
Comic-Con, baby.
Coming. What's coming?
Holy shit. The fucking Multiverse Saga. It
Yep.
has finally been announced on what kind of saga we're getting this time.
Oh my God.
Dude, I've got to say right off the bat, this saga, these three phases, 4, 5, and 6, are going to absolutely blow Infinity Saga out of the water.
I think so.
Dude, I am so fucking excited. So fucking excited.
Yeah, I think this, you know, obviously Marvel is here to stay.
100%.
Marvel is not going anywhere with their, especially with You know, you got Marvel, DC, or Marvel, DC, Marvel, Disney, and Sony kind of interacting well for the first time in a very long time. Like, with, you know, Marvel and Sony have had they've been button heads for a very long time. So seeing this, I love seeing all this come together. Like you said, you know, the first introduction we've had to the multiverse was Spider-Man, and then Multiverse of Madness really opened up the door to a lot of things that, you know, for some people who aren't familiar with comics or these comics, don't understand what that actually opened up. Seeing the Illuminati, seeing those characters, again, spoiler if you don't know, if you haven't seen it, Fantastic Four, freaking Professor X. Now, the fact that they used the 1980s Professor X was kind of like, that's weird, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know,
but it also showed us the Inhumans as well with Black Bolt.
Right.
So we're bringing, they are all coming to fruition. Now,
like they're popping out of the woodworks, man. So everything is coming together, and this saga is gonna show it all, not just like one character from each.
I can say that I'm pretty sure they're gonna redo the entirety of the Inhumans, because the Inhumans TV show was actually part of the MCU.
It was.
It
was pretty bad.
It was horrible. Nobody watched it.
No.
So given
I tried to rewatch it, and I
didn't even bother. Because I read nothing but bad things about it. So I just didn't even waste my time.
Yeah.
But so we're opening the doors to everything.
Yeah.
The first family, the Fantastic Four, mutants, the Inhumans, fucking all kinds of crazy shit that is just coming together and is going to be the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes of this entire saga.
Yeah. We're going to see a lot of Marvel characters come together that we've seen individual movies about over the years from the start. So we're going to see X-Men and Avengers. We're going to see those two groups together. And the fact that they're finally bringing in mutants to the MCU, because we haven't seen that at all yet.
I'm so excited.
So, but yeah, first up, what we have coming up in August actually is She-Hulk. So that one's
excited.
You know, I'm not familiar with She-Hulk. I know like a few tidbits. There's a few things that are big with her storyline. She's a very, what's the word, promiscuous person. in both, like, as She-Hulk, she is very confident she will get what she wants.
Hell yeah.
The other thing, which is I think is so cool to do in comics and in the, you know, comic shows, she breaks fourth wall.
Yep. Just like Deadpool.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see that, because she would literally, in the comics, if you would like read the comics from She-Hulk, she was literally like pulling thought bubbles, because I didn't say that, you know. She's talking to the reader, she's talking about the art, you know. It's so cool to see that. So I love that.
Right.
I'm curious.
I'm excited.
I am too. I want to see where that goes.
So I watched the trailer, and on my screen, like, there's the video right there. We're not gonna play it because it'll take too long. You guys can look it up on YouTube.
Check it out.
Official She-Hulk trailer. A couple things I noticed in the trailer, and like I feel we're gonna do this for every single one.
Yep.
Just to like give a breakdown of each individual. So there's a couple things I noticed. And my favorite one I'm gonna mention last.
Oh, I know which one that is.
But so we get to see Tim Roth again as the Abomination, which, if you didn't know, the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk is a part of the MCU, but there was a falling out with Edward Norton. That's why Mark Ruffalo now plays the Hulk.
Not enough money.
Yep, not enough money. But that was different times back then as well. Yeah. But so Tim Roth is going to be back as the Abomination. This is the third time that we're going to get to see him in the MCU.
Yeah.
The first time being the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk, then Multiverse, or Yeah, Shang-Chi, not Multiverse. Shang-Chi.
Where him and
And
Wong are
now
fighting. Yep.
we get to see him back
I like that
in She-Hulk.
So the one thing I liked from Shang-Chi and that they've stayed with is that they changed his design completely. So the Abomination we had in the Ed Norton was not the Abomination.
Look nothing like Abomination.
It was literally like just a disgusting monster, right?
Yeah.
So you know,
Kind of like a zombie. Like a
yeah, it was weird. It was basically like they took a skeleton, you know, someone who didn't have hair or nothing, you know, and then they just went and they blew it up. That's the Abomination we got. The Abomination I'm glad we're seeing is the one we got in Shang-Chi, and the one
the
we're
more
seeing
comic accurate one.
exactly, and the one we're seeing now in She-Hulk. So
yeah. Now I also noticed they're changing the origin of how she became She-Hulk just a little bit. So
yeah.
in the comic books, she was attacked because she was about to put somebody on trial. She was attacked and she was gunned down. She was on the verge of death.
Yep.
And in order to save her life, Bruce Banner infused her wounds with some of his blood.
Yep.
Now in this one, if I'm not mistaken, she saves him from a car crash.
Yeah, or they were in a car wreck together. Like it didn't really show. It's in the trailer. Again, if you want to check it out, go find it.
Yeah.
But there's literally just a 5-6 second clip. She's laying there, like the car's already wrecked. She's laying there with him in her lap, and like you see the gamma go through her veins, and it's like, oh, so maybe she got cut, he got cut, and you know, that's how.
Well, I'm assuming that she had an open wound at some point.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, I would
guess.
imagine so. They were in a car wreck, so I would assume that she had a couple open wounds. Obviously, Bruce Banner was bloodied. His blood got into one of her open wounds, and boom, She-Hulk was born.
Yeah.
Not a bad change. I can get behind it because it's not like a big
crazy
thing.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, you know, it could work. It could not work. Who knows? I guess we're gonna find out in the show. I did notice as well, she's gonna be a little hoish.
Well, I mean, she is in the comics.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's a hoe for show.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Like, I think it's funny that they're bringing that in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. So excited. Now go ahead.
I was gonna say, in the comics, she's literally had relations with all of the Avengers. So
yeah,
I think
she was a hoe for show.
Oh yeah.
And now, the most exciting bit of all, which was at the very end of the trailer.
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Not only Daredevil.
In the classic yellow and red suit.
Yup. At first, so when I first saw the trailer, I missed the clip where he kind of like, right?
Yeah, it does a somersault in the midair.
And then I was watching it, and then all I really saw was like when they did the pan up. So it looked like the black suit. And I think I texted you that it was a black suit. And I was like, after watching it, it's actually the like classic red and yellow. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
Dude, I just want to know how many episodes he's going to be in. Apparently he's going to be in a few.
All of them.
I don't think he's going to be in all of them.
He is. I just looked at the
Is
IMDb.
he actually?
Yeah. I was looking up the character list for it, and it looks like there's going to be 9 episodes.
Uh-huh.
He's in all 9.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Holy shit. Let's go.
It lists like how long like that character is going to be in the series, you know? And yeah, he's going to be in all 9.
Fuck yeah.
So we've got
go ahead.
Jennifer Walters, who's She-Hulk, Bruce Banner, Daredevil, Abomination, Tatiana, which is, if I'm not mistaken, she's like She-Hulk's nemesis.
Yeah, she's a bad bitch.
Yeah. Wong, and then Nikki Ramos, which Nikki I believe is Jennifer's best friend. She's like, they're in the same law firm. They're in all 9 episodes together.
They've also got an Arrow alumni coming into the show, Mr. Josh Segura, aka Prometheus from Arrow season 5. I'm excited to see what his role's gonna be. I'm
Yeah,
assuming he's gonna be like an agent.
I'm thinking so. It's not even listed as to
Yeah, it
what
says
he's
that.
playing.
Yeah, it says he's in an undisclosed role.
Yeah, so we'll
But
see.
that comes out August 17th, so
Yep.
next month.
Yep.
We've got a little bit to go. Got
Yep.
a couple weeks, and then we get
That's the
to
first-
witness her.
That's the first big Marvel coming up since Multiverse of Madness.
Yep.
Minus Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, next up,
next
we've got
is a big one.
Secret Invasion.
So for people not familiar with Secret Invasion, this is the introduction of a lot. Secret Invasion has to do with Skrulls trying to take over Earth 616. They're basically
Real quick, you keep talking. I'm gonna go grab some water. I'm super thirsty.
All right, no problem. So there was a Kree Skull War. Again, if you're not familiar with that, you can do a little bit of research. A lot of the Earth superheroes came together and created the Illuminati. So this is what we're hoping. And when Browns gets back, I'm gonna give him some shit because he should be here anyway. This is where the true Illuminati comes from. And the true Illuminati, we've got Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, Black Bolt, Professor X, and Doctor Strange. They basically confront the Skrulls. So, and a whole lot of other things.
Sorry about that.
Now that you're back, no,
Say it all again.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it all again. No, I was telling them that, you know, so the plot behind the Secret Invasion was after the Kree Skull War. The Illuminati was finally created, so this should be our first real look at the real Illuminati. Not to say the last one that we just saw wasn't, but this should be the one that's around for a little longer.
Right.
And it includes Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, Black Bolt, Professor X, and Doctor Strange. That's the classic Illuminati. And basically
the Illuminati that we know.
Yeah, and basically what it is they confront the Skrulls, and they warn that a future invasion attempts on Earth would mean further, like they're telling them, like, if you plan to attack Earth, shit's gonna go bad.
Right.
And obviously they go through with it. So
right.
And we've already kind of seen some Skrull interaction with, like, portraying certain characters. Like we've seen a Skrull as Nick Fury, and we've seen a Skrull as Maria Hill. So we've already seen kind of them, like, all right. And there's also been a lot of theories and a lot of questions as to, are there Skrulls playing some of the characters we've already seen, like that we've seen die?
That's a good theory, because I mean, it would make sense.
Could be.
It would make sense because there are quite a few characters that don't act like their comic book selves.
Right.
So
we'll see.
I just wish we knew a little bit more. I wish we knew a little bit more about Secret Invasion. I mean, obviously they don't want to give us all the details on everything yet.
And obviously you're only going to get so much with reading the comic, because I mean, while they've done very good throughout the years pulling aspects, you know, that's not like straight from the comic book.
Right.
But I'm just hoping that we do see an Illuminati group in this this film.
I think if we don't see the Illuminati group, we'll at least either see some of them or hear mention of them, because Tony Stark is dead.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So obviously he's not going to be around to you know, be involved, but I'm sure they'll think of something in order for things to make sense.
Right.
You know.
Well, and the thing too with this secret invasion is this is going to be this is what I was talking about, like the true introduction of mutants and superheroes. This is a huge storyline. Well, it's not a very long storyline. It's a huge storyline in the fact of how many characters it brings together.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm excited about that one, and obviously we've got Secret Wars as well, which that's a little further on down the list, but they go together. They they go, you know, one right after the other.
I'm excited.
So, you know, I'm excited to see. I think those are the two I'm probably most excited about, is to see those interactions.
Secret Wars and Invasion. Yeah. I mean, they fall in line with one another. Like they connect the dots for each other. So it's gonna be a very, very exciting story to see unfold now that we're actually gonna see it.
I agree.
Come to fruition.
Yep.
So next up on the list is one that I'm extremely excited for, and it kicks off the beginning of Phase 5 next year, and that is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I'm very excited about this.
And this,
they showed a teaser trailer at Comic-Con, but it was exclusive, so it's not online because of copyrights right now.
Makes sense.
But I feel like it'll be revealed once
eventually,
D23 happens. But what we do know is the world's greatest grandma. That's Scott Lang. I'm just reading off of what this says. And the rest of the Ant-Man family meet their greatest foe yet, Kang the Conqueror.
Right.
This is going to be the first film to introduce our new Avengers level threat.
Yeah, because the one we saw in Loki, that was a variant.
Kang the Conqueror.
No.
That was a variant that was trying to stop that from happening. Obviously, it didn't get stopped because Kang is making his grand appearance. February 17th, 2023. What we do know, there were leaks of the trailer, dialogue of the trailer, and some of that dialogue is between Kang and Ant-Man's Paul Rudd.
Interesting.
And the dialogue that was said was, "You've made a terrible mistake. Don't you know I'm an Avenger?" And Kang's response is, "You're an Avenger? Have I killed you before?" So I'm very excited to see that. Very excited to see the interaction between these two and what ends up happening all together. That is going to set forth the events that lead up to the two Avengers films that we're going to be getting to later on in the segment. But you know, Paul Rudd, phenomenal actor.
You know, when the first Ant-Man was announced, right? I'm kind of jumping back a little bit. When the first Ant-Man was announced and Scott Lang was the one they announced, or Scott Lang, wow, I just can't think today. Paul Rudd was announced to be playing Scott Lang. I'm like, well, that's an interesting, you know, casting for that. I was a little worried because we're so used to seeing, you know, Paul Rudd in these I mean, he's hilarious. I love him as a comedian.
Oh yeah.
But to take on this role,
for those of you that don't know Paul Rudd, for the younger,
he's immortal, by the way,
listeners, he is immortal. He's like 52 and he looks 28. For the younger listeners, those of you may not really know who Paul Rudd is. He is not a very serious actor. He's been in movies like The 40-Year-Old Virgin. He's been in movies like Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. He's been in Wet Hot American Summer.
I'm gonna give you that joke.
All of these comedy films, you wouldn't think an actor like Paul Rudd was going to be brought into a franchise as big as the MCU. I mean, the same could be said about Chris Pratt, but
yeah, true,
because he's originally from Parks and Recreation, but that's a whole nother story for another time.
Yeah,
we're on Paul Rudd right now. I was taken aback a little bit when I heard that Paul Rudd was cast as Scott Lang at first
Agreed.
because like you, I had the same concerns. I was like, okay, so this dude is primarily known as a comedian. Almost every single movie that he's been in is a comedy film. There's been very few serious roles that he was in, if any.
Yeah.
I can't think of any off the top of my head,
Um,
but
no,
he's a comedian. You know what I
in
mean?
a
He's a
very good
comedian,
one.
a very, very good comedian. And, it all makes sense now. Scott Lang is a goofy character. He's a fun character.
Yep.
He adds humor to the group, which is something that we've touched on. We touched on last episode with Thor, how they're focusing way too hard on the comedy aspect of the new Thor film
Mm-hmm.
when he's supposed to be a serious character. He's the god of thunder. He's not
Yeah.
a fucking pussy,
He's not
you
Scott
know?
Lang.
Yeah,
I mean,
Scott Lang's not a pussy by any stretch of the imagination.
well,
If it
no,
wasn't for
that's not
him
what I
and the
meant.
rat,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for him and the rat,
Right.
the world would have never came back.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's Scott Lang is a character that you put the humor into, not Thor. You know what I mean? So seeing Paul Rudd bring this character to life and the way that he's portraying Scott Lang, it's like he's playing, I guess, a real life version of himself.
Yeah.
Because when you watch it, if you watch interviews with Paul Rudd, then you look at Scott Lang, he is basically
same-
playing himself.
Yeah.
He's
It's
playing himself
insane.
with a different name.
Yeah.
Like the one joke, or the one, it's not really a joke, but the one thing that always gets me is I think it was Captain America Civil War was the first movie
Mhm.
that he interacted with the Avengers.
Yeah.
And when they chose him to be a part of Captain America's team, it always gets me. I don't know why, but Paul Rudd, he's super flustered when he's meeting Captain America.
Yeah.
He's like, and the
He's
thing,
giddy.
the dialogue that he says always tickles me, dude. It's so funny, and it shouldn't be. But when he says, "Thanks for thanking of me,"
Yeah.
I lose it. I lose it
Thanks for thinking
every
of me.
fucking time.
Yeah.
Because he says it as if it's a normal sentence. Like, not many
Yeah.
people could do that. Like,
No,
but you
like-
got Paul Rudd, and he's just like, "Oh my God, Captain America, thanks for thanking of me."
Yeah.
Like, he's just so flustered with his words, and it just sounds natural. Like,
Yeah.
most people probably didn't even catch that little mix up of words.
Yeah.
So he's a dynamite cast,
I think
a
so, too.
dynamite casting for that character, and I'm very excited to see where this movie goes. I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of the first two Ant-Man movies. I
Same.
believe
I
it
am
or
too.
not, the Ant-Man movies, probably two of my favorite MCU movies ever made, like solo films.
Yeah.
I love those movies. I think they're absolutely hilarious. I think they're serious where they need to be.
Yeah.
And I think that the villains that they chose in Ghost and
Yellow Jacket.
Yellow Jacket,
Mhm.
I almost said Yellow Bee, but the villains that they chose fit the characters, fit
Yeah.
the movie, they fit the plot. It was they were phenomenal films.
Yeah.
And then we got fucking Michael Douglas playing Hank Pym and
just
Michelle
so
Pfeiffer.
Good.
Michelle Pfeiffer, dude.
Yeah. So good.
Oh God, Michelle Pfeiffer used to be such a babe.
I mean, she still is.
I mean, she is still, but dude, like her in that Catwoman suit. Oh my God,
Fair.
dude. Woo!
Well, and
Smoke
then you got
show, brother.
Evangeline Lilly. Like, she's
Oh my God,
so
gorgeous,
good. Yeah.
gorgeous.
I love it.
All right, moving on
Real
to
quick
another
on that
one
too, because
go ahead.
this is the first time we're actually going to see Cassie in a superhero,
Yeah, yeah,
because obviously Cassie Lang, Scott's daughter, she actually takes up the mantle as well. She's like Ant Girl. I think she has a couple different names. I think she even has like the name of Stature at some
I
point.
know the suit's purple and black.
Yes.
Which is two of my favorite colors, which I'm super happy about.
Yeah. So
that's going to be cool.
I'm curious to see how they, if I'm curious to see how Scott convinces Hank to give Cassie pin particles. I think that's gonna be funny.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think it's gonna be dynamite.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be fucking awesome.
So
and
next,
it's real quick. One more final thing, because like I love this.
There's so
I
many.
love this for Ant-Man. The fact that they are putting all of this trust in Paul Rudd and the film itself to make it the very first film to kick off Phase 5.
Yeah.
I think that is like one of the highest honors you can get in the MCU, to have your movie kicking off a phase.
Yeah, for sure.
Just saying. I think that's a cool little honorary thing to do. So I'm excited for Paul Rudd and the cast of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania.
Yeah, because that is the first one of the new phase. Like we've talked about a few other, like She-Hulk is not part of the new phase, and then Secret Invasion actually comes on later. So
yeah, that's Phase 5 as well.
Yep.
Or Phase 5.
Yeah. So
next up, we got another one I'm super excited for. I'm excited for most of this lineup, dude. I'm not even gonna lie.
There's only like one or two that I'm like,
Yeah, I'll watch the one or two, because I'm pretty sure we have the same thought process on which ones are the ones that we're kind of on.
Agreed.
But we're getting to those.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah.
We've been waiting a couple years for this movie. Obviously, Star-Lord, Rocket, Groot, Drax, Mantis, Nebula, Gamora, the whole cast and crew that we love. Coming into theaters May 5th, 2023. Going to be part of Phase 5. There was no trailer or anything, no teaser. All we know is that this is the final film in the Guardians lineup. James Gunn confirmed this.
Yep. It's also the last time we will see Batista as Drax. That was confirmed as well. Like he will not be reprising the role if they do Drax in anything.
Right. And Will Poulter will be playing Adam Warlock, which I was excited.
Again, interesting, right? Interesting pick.
So here's my thought on this. I feel like it's too little too late with Adam Warlock, because for those of you that know the comics, the Infinity Saga,
he was a huge part of it.
Adam Warlock was a major character in that storyline. So the fact that they're introducing him now, way after the events of Endgame and way after the events of Infinity
I would die if it's
War,
just a cameo. Like he shows up and be like, "Oh, I'm not needed," and then just disappears.
Comes out of the Soul Stone. Y'all need me? No? Okay, cool. I'm going back to...
I'm leaving. Have a good one.
But it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. And they
like,
even teased him. They teased
him.
They
teased him all the way back in fucking Guardians 1.
Yeah.
They teased him all the way back in Guardians 1. That was like 2014 or
for the
15.
Infinity Saga.
So like, what is the point of bringing Adam Warlock in now?
I don't know.
And James Gunn was like, "Oh, well, Will was 11 years old when we first teased Adam Warlock.
Pick a different person."
Okay. Cast somebody else.
Look at how many people have been cast throughout the years. That was perfect casting. Like, you couldn't find one person that you could cast for that role?
Fuck, you could have gave Ryan Gosling that role. Fuck, you could have gave Matthew McConaughey that role.
Yeah, I don't understand that one.
Boom, there's two right there that you could have gave the fucking role to. Or that dude from Stranger Things, Dacre Montgomery or whatever the fuck his name is.
What'd you just call me?
The dude from Stranger Things. I don't know his name. I think his name's like Dacre Montgomery or something.
I have no clue.
I don't know.
I know, but I don't know who that is. I don't know their actor names.
I think he was in the season with the mall. the malls. He was like one of the lifeguards. He was the
Oh,
lifeguard that
Billy.
all the
It's
yeah.
Billy. Oh, okay. No, I didn't even know his fucking real name. So
The actor's name is Dacre Montgomery.
well, no,
They
I
could
know
have got
that.
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
they could have got him. But I digress. We don't know a lot about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 other
Nothing.
than it's another cosmic adventure, as we assume it would be. Pretty sure there's going to be lots of funny jokes. There's going
Yeah.
to be lots of awesome banter between all the characters. The one
Mhm.
thing that I do know is that Gamora does not remember Star-Lord, because if you remember in
Right.
Endgame,
Yeah.
she died.
Yeah.
She was sacrificed by
Thanos.
Thanos.
Yeah.
So this is a different version of Gamora that doesn't know any of these people, doesn't
Mhm.
remember that her and Peter were
A thing.
in love and together.
Yeah.
So we get to see what happens with that. There's going to be lots of 70s music. James Gunn is like the
Oh, yeah.
master of picking soundtracks, especially because Star-Lord was raised, much like myself, by his 70s music listening mother.
Mhm.
So that my mom actually brought that up to me the other day. She was asking me what kind of music I listen to. I was like, oh, I still listen to Slipknot and all the screamo
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
and
yeah.
like the heavy metal and
Yep.
like A Day to Remember. And she was like, oh, do you still listen to the 60s, 70s, and 80s music that I raised you on? I was like, of course I do.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got an entire soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like,
That's, I mean, it's the
I've got
same
a
for
whole
me too.
soundtrack.
Like I was
Like I
raised
love
on
70s
Ted
music.
Nugent,
Yeah.
Ozzy. I was raised on that stuff.
Redbone, Sam Cooke,
Yeah.
fucking the Blue Orchestra, whatever the fuck the full name of that band
I
is.
don't remember.
Electric Blue Orchestra,
There you go.
that group.
Yeah.
Blue Swede, all those fucking bands.
Yep.
I grew up with that shit.
Yeah.
Of
So the
course I listened
soundtrack,
to it, Mom.
the soundtrack is gonna be good, obviously, but
It always is.
I didn't know enough. I know the Guardians in general in the comics are just a rogue bunch of
Yeah.
miscreants, so
They're goofballs,
Yeah,
they're
they're
renegades.
you could literally do anything with their storyline and
Yeah.
it'd be good. So,
And I mean, you've got James Gunn.
yeah.
James Gunn is a master filmmaker. I don't
Yeah.
care what anybody says. When it comes to superhero stuff, that dude,
He knows what he's doing.
chef's kiss, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Peacemaker, the new Suicide Squad film,
Yep.
both of the fucking Guardians films, including number 3.
Yep.
He made the Peacemaker TV show.
Yeah.
All hits,
Mhm.
dynamite. Not one of those projects were a miss
No.
for James Gunn. So I'm very excited to see what Guardians 3 has in store for us.
Agreed.
Sad to see it go, but very excited for it. That again
I
comes
have a
out May 5th.
feeling we definitely won't see the end of some of those characters, even though
Oh,
they
absolutely
won't have their
not.
standalone anymore, especially with the upcoming projects. We'll see more of them.
100%.
Yeah, and I think
100%.
it's not in this, and I don't think it was listed at San Diego, but Groot is getting his own spinoff as well.
It was.
So-
It was confirmed. It was so Marvel had an animated panel as well. We'll
Yeah.
dive into a little bit of that. I do know that so I didn't see the list, but I do know that there's an animated Marvel Zombies TV show, which was
Yes.
confirmed to be Marvel's very first, Marvel Studios' very first TVMA project.
Interesting. Okay.
So that further confirms that they're getting a little bit more comfortable with
They're getting
bringing
ballsy.
R-rated material.
I
Because
like
I
it.
mean, here's the thing. Right before San Diego Comic-Con,
Yeah.
they released both Deadpool films
Logan.
and Logan onto Disney Plus,
Yep.
completely
First-
uncensored.
First R-rated movies on Disney.
Well, technically you have all of the Netflix Marvel shows, Jessica Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, dude, Jessica Jones was getting railed by Luke Cage in like 4 or 5 episodes of the
Okay.
shows.
I got you.
And completely uncensored, by the way. The only thing that they censored, believe it or not, was one of their own shows, which was Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
The scene when US agent kills the guy with the shield,
Yeah.
they removed a little bit of the blood. There was still blood on the shield, but they removed a little bit
splatter.
of the blood on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Don't know why. Doesn't make sense because
Yeah.
they edited nothing out of the Marvel Netflix shows, completely uncensored, all TVMA.
Yeah.
They didn't edit anything from the Deadpool or Logan film,
Good.
so
Because
they're
the
getting
Logan
ballsy.
movie, the Logan movie was
Fucking
gruesome.
brutal. That
And I
movie's brutal.
loved it.
I'll never forget the one scene when he fucking uppercuts the dude in the face
Oh,
and then
yeah.
claws through the head. I was like,
Yeah. I know.
damn.
When they announced that it was gonna be R-rated, I'm like, I mean, it is Wolvie, so it can get
I
pretty
mean,
gruesome.
he is violent.
Yeah, he's violent, but he's old, you know. Even though like the old man Logan storyline, which is one of my favorite storylines, by the way,
That's a good storyline.
is a super gruesome storyline. So I was like, you know,
100%.
how far are they gonna push this? And they fucking pushed it. I liked it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So back to this list
Moving on.
again. Guardians comes out May 5th, 2023,
Yep.
and real quick, Ant-Man again, February 17th,
Oh yeah,
2023.
good.
I forgot to say
Next
that at
on
the
the
end.
list, which we also have a trailer with, is
Black Panther.
Yep.
So
We got.
I gotta
it's
say-
Wakanda Forever.
I gotta say, the trailer. I know you enjoyed the trailer a
I
lot
did.
because it introduced Namor and all that.
Well, it
I gotta
wasn't-
be honest. The trailer, not saying it was a bad trailer by any stretch of the imagination, not
Right.
at all. However, 90% of the trailer was a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, which again, love Chadwick Boseman, phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Horrible what happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, he made multiple movies as Black Panther
Mm-hmm.
while battling stage 4 colon cancer and nobody fucking knew.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. He will never be forgotten as Black Panther,
No.
which I want to talk about a little bit at like once we get a little further into
Yeah.
this
We'll
discussion.
get through. Yeah.
But I liked the trailer, but they focused way too long on the tribute as opposed to showing us like something interesting.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything,
Right.
you know. But like if I'm watching a trailer like with Carrie Fisher when she passed away, they didn't spend the entire trailer of the new Star Wars movie with a tribute to her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well.
So
So yeah, I see where you're coming from. At the same time, I wasn't necessarily excited for Namor because let's face it, it's Namor. he's
yeah.
Yeah, he's Aquaman, but worse because as he's out of water, he loses power. Yeah, it makes a lot of fucking sense. Let's have that guy. He's just put him in a bucket. Like this is gonna be Davy Jones all over again, where he's standing on the beach in a pail of bucket or pail of water.
God.
But no. So what I think, while at the same time it seems like a tribute to Chadwick, it's a tribute to Black Panther because
Right.
they haven't explained how he's gone yet. Obviously, we'll see that in the movie.
But it's very clear that he died at somewhere
clear-
along the line.
Yeah, it's clear that something has happened in between X and Z, you know,
Yeah.
for this movie to come out. And so the trailer that we see is a tribute to their loss of T'Challa. While in the same time, yes, it's a tribute to Chadwick, but I think that's what I enjoyed about it with the trailer was that, you know, this is a nation mourning the loss of their king.
Right.
And what do you do? You know, it's a king that has not only brought your nation to light, right? Because that was his whole thing when they ended Black Panther was that they want to share their technology.
Right. And I get that. I do. I feel like when I watch a trailer for a movie, I'm expecting to see a little bit more of a plot point. You know, what we really saw in this trailer was mostly the tribute to T'Challa / Chadwick Boseman. But and then we saw very little of Namor and what was to come with that. I get it, they're trying to save that for the film, but I
Yeah.
would have liked to see a little bit more action. I would have liked to see a little bit more
Yes and
of
no.
what was to come,
I think
in my opinion.
yeah,
In my opinion.
I'm on the other side of that, where I kind of, in today's day and age, we have so many spoilers and so many giveaways with trailers that
Right.
I kind of want less. Give me a couple trailers that shows somewhat of what you've shown me to be, with kind of little tidbits added in. But I don't want
Right.
to watch the whole movie in the damn trailer.
Yeah, I got
I
you.
agree with the fact that, could you given us a little more, which I guarantee we will, because that was the first trailer we saw.
That's true. But I mean, it comes out in 3 months,
Yeah,
4 months.
it comes out this year. Like it's the
Yeah.
next movie to come out.
Right. In phase 4.
Yeah, for phase 4.
Or that's what's ending phase 4.
Yeah, because that's the end of phase 4. The beginning of phase 4 is Ant-Man, which, like we said, was February. So November to February, it's not that much of a wait,
Yeah.
to start the next phase.
But overall, I'm excited. I'm interested to see who they're going to pick to be the next Black Panther, because in the trailer, I did like that. I won't lie. I did like that in the trailer. All we saw, not to get fresh, all we saw was some booty, an arm,
Yeah.
and the claws coming out of the hands.
And
now,
it was a
based
black
off
suit
of that,
with gold, which kind of teases like a Killmonger vibe, but that's not what it is. We don't have.
I'm gonna get a little pervy here. Based off of the body style and the slenderness of this character, I don't think it's a man in that suit.
So, as Lego does with spoilers and ruining things, they have released a Black Panther Wakanda set. Okay? Wakanda Forever set. In doing so, a certain black female character is in the Black Panther suit.
Okay.
So I think it's
Thanks, Lego.
Thanks, Lego. You ruin everything.
You fucking dicks.
I was kind of in the same boat with you. Like, that's we pick these trailers apart because we want to know these characters, or like who's gonna try to play these. And I did the same thing. The figure that was in that suit was a very slender person. It didn't feel very, I don't want to say masculine, because there are females out there who are bigger than me, but it just felt like I 100% believe it's Shuri. I think it's his sister.
Based off of what we saw in the trailer, which was literally a 4-second snippet.
Yeah, it was like a clip from hip up, like hip from here down to your hip and the back leg is all you saw. So
right, it looks like a woman is going to be taking up the mantle,
which she does in the comics.
Yeah,
Shuri wears the Black Panther costume or suit. So
now, that theory that I was touching on slightly with you before we started the podcast. So there's a theory going around now at the end of the trailer. When we do see the possible female Black Panther, retracting their claws.
I'm gonna watch it while you're talking.
So we notice, or I didn't notice this at first, but if you pause on that clip,
okay,
you can clearly see that Namor is not facing Black Panther. Namor's looking to his right.
Okay.
And it looks like Namor and Black Panther had already gotten into a fight, because there's a lot of damage and destruction surrounding them in the background.
There is, yeah.
And it looks like Namor's looking off to his right. Now, there's a theory going on here that Dr. Doom is somehow involved here. And actually, Namor and Black Panther are going to team up to fight the true villain of this film, which will be the introduction of Dr. Doom.
Yeah, and like I said, obviously we touched on this a little bit, but it's time.
It is. Absolutely.
With everything that's being announced, and there's a couple things that are continuing on this list. that we'll talk about. It's time to see Doom because he is again one of those Avenger level single characters who can do some damage. And with everything
Absolutely.
coming up, we need Doctor Doom. We need
Absolutely.
to see him. So
And you and I, we will touch more on what else we talked about with that specific actor, possibly portraying him. We
Yeah.
will touch on that once we get to that panel.
yeah,
All right. But
another thing that I'm not sure if I'm excited about or I'm ready to see, I guess, is this. We also see a new character in this movie being introduced, and I don't know if you caught it. You may not know about her. Her name is Riri Williams.
yes.
Okay, all you see is a girl with a torch, and she cuts something on a piece of thick metal, and she hits it, and when it hits the ground, it's literally an iron heart. And
I do remember that.
We'll kind of touch on that because it's on this list too.
Yes, it is.
If I'm not mistaken, well, yeah, I know it does because that's not even fall 23. This may be the first time we see a new Iron Man.
Or to better put it, Iron Woman.
Iron Woman, yes.
Now
We'll
there
touch
is
on that
one
when we
more
get down,
thing.
but
There is one more thing I wanted to talk about, and it's a bit controversial because of the passing of Chadwick Boseman. But it's not anything that should offend anybody, so we should not have to put any kind of trigger warning here. So I was seeing a lot of people, both of the Black community and every other community, being very angry about Chadwick Boseman not being recast.
I don't think that's a terrible idea. I think it's a terrible idea to do that.
Why?
To recast him? Well, so you're paying honor to that character, right? No matter how they've written that character out, obviously he's not going to be in this film in the least bit.
Right.
It's the same concept of having Paul Walker. It's the same concept of having Paul Walker still in the Fast franchise.
Right.
I don't see a point in it. Write the character off for what, for however you need to. Doing the way they're doing it in this new Black Panther movie, I think is an excellent way to, like, the whole reason we watch movies is for feeling, right? This gives you a deeper feeling because it's making you connect with not only T'Challa, but obviously with Chadwick,
Right. Absolutely.
I think recast is a terrible idea. I think them passing the mantle to his sister, because again, they did that in the comics, is exactly the way it should go.
Right.
But that's my 2 cents.
Right. See, I do agree with you. I do agree with you. And now that we've seen this trailer for Wakanda Forever, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
However, before we saw this trailer, I was kind of on the other side as well. I was like, well, there were reports that Chadwick Boseman's own family wanted his character to be recast because, in a sense, you're still keeping the character of T'Challa alive by recasting him. When you choose to kill off the character that Chadwick Boseman put his heart and soul into, again, such a phenomenal performance by him, and he's gone way too soon.
Yeah, agreed.
The many communities were upset about this, about him just not being recast, because in a way, you are killing not only the heart and soul that Chadwick put into the character, you're also killing the character he brought to life. So there were reports that his family even wanted him to be recast. So the legacy of the character itself, not the legacy of Chadwick, because you can't replace Chadwick.
Right.
Chadwick Boseman is Chadwick Boseman. They wanted the character of T'Challa to be recast in order to keep the character and the legacy that Chadwick brought to the character alive, if that makes sense. So to hear that from his family, though, like to hear that from his family, they said the way, if I remember correctly, that it was written was Chadwick would have wanted the character to live on and not to die with him.
Yeah, I see that. I understand that. I do. I think the issue with that, and it's the same concept as you can't recast Tony. You know, obviously Robert Downey didn't die, but that character did.
Right. Right.
But I think the issue with it is, say they recast, okay? Say they, that concept of they want the character to continue on because Chadwick did such a great job. Who's gonna say the recast does any justice?
Right, exactly.
And I think Marvel's idea is leave it with the high note that Chadwick left, or had to obviously had to leave, the character, and continue on with a new legacy. I see both sides of it. I said, personally, I think they're doing a good job with the way they're doing it. I see the other side of recasting and keeping the T'Challa around as Black Panther, but I would hate to see that again, not because an actor or actress would do a worse job, but at the same time, not as good as Chadwick did, and made Black Panther who he was. So
I mean, I could sympathize, empathize, whatever the word is, with the folks and his family that wanted him to be recast. I could definitely, I can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, I understand that.
They don't want the character to die with the man that wore the costume. And I completely understand that. However, I feel like Marvel's doing a good job, like you stated, with passing on the mantle because it's comic accurate. And I think they just want to keep the legacy. They wanted to end it on a high note. They didn't want to risk bringing somebody in and then not living up to the honor that Chadwick brought to the character. And I'm completely respectful towards that. Like I said, members of all communities, the Black community, the Spanish community, the white community, they all wanted Chadwick to be recast, as well as reports of his family wanting him to be recast. But I completely understand why they don't want to recast him because of the possibility of the successor not being able to live up to the
here's the thing
honor.
Too, like, say, all right, those people that again do want him recast, they recast him, pick an actor to cast that, and he doesn't do a good job. They're the first ones that are gonna say, well, this character's ruined now.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too,
it's a double-edged sword when it comes to recast. When it comes to recasting
in this scenario, like, take it back as old school as the Mummy series, right? The mother, the actress that played the mom. Okay, how many people quit watching that series because they changed the mom for whatever? Obviously there was probably some issues. However, that actress didn't die, but a lot of people hated the fact that they changed the mom. It's I don't know. It's a tough call. I think Marvel will do what they need to with it. But
absolutely. I think in this movie we will be pleasantly surprised at the high honor and the tribute that they leave for not only Chadwick Boseman but for King T'Challa. So I believe that we'll be pleasantly surprised, and we will be very happy with the outcome of this film.
Agreed.
100%.
Yep.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever hits theaters this year, November 11th, 2022.
It's coming up.
Yeah, man.
We've got
not long now.
So we've got She-Hulk coming out next month, and then Black Panther
And
coming out in
then, yep.
November. I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
So
I'm with it. I'm
next.
super stoked. Next up, we got one that I'm very excited for, but we know nothing about pretty much.
Yeah.
And that is Echo. I'm very excited for Echo. That's going to be coming out summer of 2023. So for those of you that didn't watch Hawkeye, Maya Lopez
Mm-hmm.
is the adopted niece of the Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yep.
Now, Maya Lopez's character, she is deaf. I believe she was born deaf. I could be wrong though. But her character's name is Echo. And towards the end of Hawkeye, we see that now this shouldn't be a spoiler because this show came out a while ago.
Right.
But if it is, spoiler alert, we find out that Vincent D'Onofrio, he put a hit out on Maya's parents,
Correct.
got them killed. And, she found that out. She found out that she got them killed, or that he got them killed, and that her second in command was a part of that. And he knew about it and didn't tell her about it. And now, so she kills him in brutal fashion with like spikes to the stomach.
Yeah.
And at the end of Hawkeye, we see a very well-known scene ripped straight from the comic books, with her confronting the Kingpin in an alleyway and shooting him in the face after the Kingpin pleads with her to, oh, well, we're family, we're blood. Sometimes we don't see eye to eye. Which leads to him getting shot in the face. And in the comic books, you find out that she shot him in the eye and he ends up with an eye patch.
Yep.
So a lot of people are confused. There's a lot of theories out in the internet saying that he's dead, saying that he's dead, he's not coming back, blah, blah, blah. But there's one theory that so for those of you that don't realize now, which I would hope that you do with the 13, 14 years that we've been watching these Marvel movies,
Right.
and all that, Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel, chooses his words very, very carefully.
He's very good at it.
He's very good at picking the words that come out of characters' mouths. Well, I mean, so are the writers. It's not just Kevin Feige, but they're very good at wording things in a way that a lot of people won't understand if you don't read the comics, but a lot of people will understand if you know the storylines. One of those things is family doesn't always see eye to eye, and then you go back to the memory of Kingpin getting shot in the fucking eyeballs. So, I don't think he's dead. I mean, he's confirmed. Vincent D'Onofrio is confirmed to be playing the Kingpin in the Echo series.
Yep.
Along with, you guessed it, Charlie Cox as Daredevil once again. And once we get down to the Daredevil panel, I just gotta say, bro, you already know what I'm gonna say. You said it to me before, but we'll get to that. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about once we get to him.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know a whole lot about Echo. We know that I believe it's in pre-production or it's filming now. Could be wrong. It's either one of those two. It's either in pre-production or it's filming now. It was confirmed that Charlie Cox will be in 3 or 4, I think 3 episodes, and Vincent D'Onofrio will be in 4 episodes.
Okay. Is this 6 episodes?
Their characters. I want to say it's 8.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
I got you.
I could be wrong. Again, not much to go off of with this one because there was literally no trailers, no teasers, no information about it.
Yeah, there's no real, for basically the rest of the list. There's no, there's nothing.
Yeah. But, some of them, they're going to be quick conversations. Others are going to be longer conversations. Yeah. So that again comes out summer of 2023. So about a year out.
Yeah.
Next up,
Loki.
we got Loki season 2. I still have to finish season one,
So good.
but like I know the whole thing that happens with He Who Remains, how
Yeah,
he dies and all that, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know, variants. We're gonna be seeing more variants. You know,
Which that's the whole introduction of the multiverse.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
variants are different people from the
right.
different multiverses. So it's
This
playing
opens the
along
door.
with that whole saga. So
Yep, Loki opened up the door for
yep.
the variants. You know, from what I saw, it's a very good show. The girl that plays Lady Loki, gorgeous.
Yep.
I think it's the shorter hair. The shorter hair on beautiful women gets me, man.
Gotcha.
Like Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord. I digress.
Yep. But yeah,
We don't know anything about Loki season 2. We just know that it's coming summer 2023 on Disney Plus.
Yep.
So keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
Excited for that. Moving on.
next one we got Blade.
Blade. This was announced at the very end of the Comic-Con panel back in 2019.
Oh, okay, yeah, that. I was gonna
Very
say
end.
at the very end of the Useless movie.
Yeah. Mahershala Ali. Oh yeah, he was in the very end of Eternals for
Terrible.
God knows what reason, because he's never really had a run-in with the Eternals, but
It's
whatever.
not necessarily Eternals. I think it's to do with the Kit Harington character.
Oh, gotcha. Black Knight.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Because I think something about his like Kit's family history has something to do with, I fucking don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I never saw the movie. I didn't care to.
Don't do it.
So Mahershala Ali,
Yep.
Academy Award winner, played Cottonmouth in the first season of Luke Cage. Phenomenal actor.
Oh,
Phenomenal actor. That is the only thing I've ever seen him in, was Luke Cage season 1.
Okay.
Fantastic
He's been
actor,
in a few
though.
movies that I've seen, but he's still a very good actor in all of them.
I've probably seen 1 or 2 films. I just can't put a finger on them.
Have you ever seen, well, probably not, there's a movie called Hidden Numbers.
Nope.
It was about the NASA like numbers lady. They're the ones that basically got everything to work. He was in that movie, but yeah.
No idea.
I got you.
But so we know nothing about this. It's coming out November 3rd, 2023, which is crazy that we got a release date, like an official release date for this.
November of 23 makes me think it's in production.
Yeah. So, well, it starts filming in October of this year.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So, a couple things I'm really excited for with this. Obviously, it's Blade.
Yeah.
One of the greatest, one of my favorite black characters in the Marvel comic books, the Marvel universe. I love Blade.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite characters, hands down.
He's up there for sure.
He's the fucking Daywalker, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, pregnant mother bitten by a vampire, has all of the superpowers, has all of the positives of a vampire, and the only negative that he has is that he gets a thirst for blood.
Hey, but he
Blade
takes a
is
serum.
Yeah. Blade is a fucking badass, man. I love Blade.
Yeah.
Super excited for this movie. I'm hoping that we get a Wesley Snipes cameo, because for those of you that don't know,
At least
you can look this
of
up.
something.
Yeah, exactly. Give us something small. Doesn't matter. He's got to be in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Couple other things. First off, for those of you that don't know, and you could look this up, it is proven fact. It's been proven time and again. The original Blade trilogy saved Marvel from bankruptcy.
Yeah.
The original Blade trilogy, saved Marvel from bankruptcy. Not like completely, but it was the first Marvel film that actually generated some money for the company. And that's where they decided, you know what? Like, things are looking up.
Yeah.
Obviously, Spider-Man had a hand. A couple other characters had a hand. But the first Blade films saved the goddamn company from bankruptcy. Look it up. That is a true fact. True fact. Those movies are incredible. I love the Blade movies. And that's why I believe they should bring Wesley Snipes in, because he played in the original series.
Yeah.
That saved Marvel in the long run.
Something.
What? Go ahead.
Just no, I'm just saying something. Give him a
Oh yeah, give us something, man. The one thing that I'm disappointed about, and I'm pretty sure that it was confirmed,
the rating.
the rating.
Yeah, same.
So there's a lot of, not really rumors, because I'm like guaranteed, like I'm like 99.99% sure that it is guaranteed, confirmed that the new Blade film is going to be PG-13.
Yeah.
Kind of upset about that. I feel like that's a, I don't want to say it's a spit in the face. That's reaching. But it's a disappointment because Blade is a dangerous character. Blade's a violent character, you know? I mean, he uses swords and guns and crazy knives and shit to kill vampires.
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like they could do some good, and I feel like a big reason why they're making it PG-13 is purely for the ability to appeal to like younger people.
Yeah.
You know, because not a lot of people know who Blade is.
No.
You know,
I think that's one of those things where you know, you should still step over that line to still make, I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but
oh, absolutely.
But still make it to where it's enjoyable because we know the character, you know?
Right.
We know it's a dark character, and it just, I don't know. I think that we'll see how the PG-13 versus R rating deals it up, because obviously all the last three were R rating. So
yeah. I mean, I feel like they'll do a pretty good job with it. If they get the correct people to portray the other characters, I think we'll get a good job out of it. You know, I'm not so much worried about it being PG-13 because Blade is one of those characters that, like, you could flip-flop with an R rating and a PG-13 rating.
True.
He is a violent character, but as we've seen in like more recent Marvel projects, you can make a film PG-13 and be on the border of an R rating.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, that's not to say there are characters that you cannot change, i.e. the Punisher. I would love to see Wolverine in a more R-rated setting if he's in like solo projects. Deadpool, they tried to make Deadpool PG-13. They tried to release a second film, or a second film, making it PG-13, and nobody wanted to watch it because it's Deadpool. Yeah. Deadpool is, I mean, it's already confirmed that Deadpool 3 is going to be R-rated, and Kevin Feige doesn't want to mess with the formula because he sees how successful Deadpool 1 and 2 were.
Yeah.
They were extremely successful, and I feel like that's why Marvel is also getting a little bit more comfortable with bringing R-rated projects and R-rated content to their platform. I mean, for God's sakes, they just brought Deadpool 1, 2, and Logan onto their platform completely uncensored. They brought all the Netflix Marvel shows over completely uncensored. Yeah. So they're going in the right direction, especially with the confirmation of their first TVMA project in the animated Marvel Zombies show.
Yeah.
So they're going in the right direction.
So I have a quote from Kevin Feige. Okay. Obviously, this was from February of 21, and the man sticks to his word pretty well. But he said, apart from Deadpool 3, Marvel might stick to PG-13 ratings for future movies. His exact words were, "I think we target everything we're doing for kids and adults. So I think your question is more adult or R-rated. Other than Deadpool, which has already established itself as a certain genre and a certain rating that we already said we would not mess with when we started working on Deadpool, which we have. Other than that, we haven't encountered a story or storyline or a character's journey that a PG-13 or the tone or the ratings we've been using up to this point have prevented us. We haven't been held back by. If we ever are, then certainly there can be a discussion that can be had now that there's other outlets. So that tells you right there. They have not been limited by a PG-13 rating, you know,
Right.
up to a certain point. And if need be, they'll stretch it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I will say this. So currently right now they're sticking with just Deadpool being R-rated, which I'm totally cool with because that is a character that you cannot change. As Kevin Feige stated, they've got a tried and tested formula that has worked, and they're not going to mess with it. But once we bring John Bernthal back as the Punisher, even Daredevil, I mean, stick with the formula that's worked. They got 3 seasons each. Well, Punisher got 2. Daredevil got 3, and they were successful. They both worked very well. I mean, you guys wouldn't be bringing Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio back.
Yeah.
If they weren't successful. Obviously, the Hawkeye TV show where Vincent D'Onofrio first made his reappearance as the Kingpin was TV PG. You know, there was nothing crazy, and it worked. However, if you're going to bring it back they are bringing it back for Daredevil, which we're going to talk about once we get to it.
Yeah.
You should probably keep that TVMA because the first 3, I know it's a reboot, and again, we're getting into that, but you know, the TVMA formula worked for Daredevil.
Yeah.
You know, it worked flawlessly. Same with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. I mean, you could probably get away with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage being PG-13, but not Daredevil. Daredevil's a pretty dark character, and if you look at some of his storylines, they are very, very, very dark stories. So
yeah,
we'll see. We will see. Again, nothing to report on Blade. There's no trailers, no nothing, no cast or anything aside from Mahershala Ali taking on the reins of the character.
Yeah.
That's coming to theaters November 3rd, 2023.
So end of the year, end of next year.
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, next one we've got is a solo series on Disney Plus, obviously. Ironheart.
Yes.
If you're not familiar with Ironheart, meet Riri Williams. She is a 15-year-old mechanical genius.
Yes. I don't know much about the character. I just know that she is basically going to be her new Iron Man. So you take this one away, Doug.
Yeah, so she's 15 years old. We see her in the Black Panther trailer. So she's obviously going to be established in this upcoming movie to an extent. Obviously, we don't know how much. And then obviously this series is going to play into certain things, but yeah, like I said, she's a 15-year-old. She's an engineering student. She's a certified genius. And she literally, she goes to school, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And she actually steals stuff from the school to basically make her own Iron Man suit. And she literally just makes it in her bedroom.
Doesn't she also steal Stark Tech as well?
I don't,
if I'm not mistaken.
He I don't think
I could be wrong.
Steals it. I think he actually shows up. So that's the other weird thing that's gonna, be interesting. He actually shows up in the original storyline to like help her.
Okay.
He basically kind of takes her under. It's kind of the whole like Parker Tony Stark situation.
Yeah.
Where he like kind of takes her under his wing and he kind of helps her create or like improve her suit. So she was basically the new she's a newer character. Her first appearance was in 2016. So
okay. So she's fairly new. She's only 6 years old.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm curious to see how they
well, I mean, with Tony being gone, they could always bring in Happy Hogan. I mean, Happy Hogan's always been a, when Tony died, Happy Hogan started, not really mentoring Peter Parker, but kind of like took him under his wing and like said, Tony wanted you to do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
So it could be the same thing for Riri Williams,
It could
where
be. It could be one of those situations where he knew about her. Like he knew her ongoings, and maybe he's gonna send Happy or Pepper to be like, hey, we want to help you create this suit. So
yeah. So I mean, this is actually one of the shows where I'm kind of like on, but that's purely because I know nothing about the character.
Well, and I think, like I said, I think we'll see with Black Panther coming up. I think we'll see some of her.
Right.
To what extent, I have no clue. We don't know. We see her for a split second in the trailer.
Yeah.
So she's teased, as you would say.
Right.
So
I'm excited I'm definitely going to give the show a shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested in seeing it because it's an Iron Man based story.
Yep. Same.
And it'll give me a little bit more insight on the character. Obviously, I'm going to do some research off stream, maybe read a couple storylines with her in them. But yeah. Other than that, I don't really know much about the character.
I think at some point in her storyline, Tony is actually transferred his conscience into an AI.
Okay.
So that may be what they do. I don't know. It'd be interesting. We'll see.
Could be.
That series will be on Disney Plus fall of 23.
Yeah.
Yep.
And here's
skip
the
this one. I feel like she has no.
Well, I do want to talk about it mainly because there are people that are going to be interested in it, especially if you watched WandaVision. I've been told from a lot of people that this character is actually somebody that made that show better once she finally arrived and was revealed to be Agatha Harkness or I think it's Harkness.
Harkness, yeah.
So, I haven't watched WandaVision. I've been clear on that many times. I do want to watch it now that we've got this show coming out, just so I know what's going on. I heard that the show gets a lot better once Agatha Harkness is revealed to be who she is. From what I do know, in WandaVision, she is Wanda's neighbor in the community that Wanda created with her powers. She's like her goofy neighbor. She's played by Katherine Hahn, who is a huge comedian.
She's hilarious.
Huge comedian, bro. She was in Step Brothers. She was in Parks and Recreation. She's been in a lot of other comedies. She's a phenomenal actress. Very, very funny. So, Agatha Harkness, all I really know about her is that she's a witch.
Yeah.
And she was hiding her identity as a witch. And when everything started going to shit in Westview or whatever the place is called that Wanda creates with her powers, it was because of her. All the crazy shit that was happening
without
was because
giving
of her.
anything away. I mean, you're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
But she wants Scarlet Witch's powers.
Okay.
So that's literally the only reason she's there. She knew
Gotcha.
Wanda was creating this psychosis of a town, basically, keeping all these people under her control. And Agatha shows up because she's like, she absorbs power,
right?
And that's where she comes in.
So yeah, that's all I know about that character. I don't know anything about Agatha Harkness other than what I was told with the show. That comes out winter of 2023. So we got that.
We'll see how that's.
The next one.
I don't know where that's gonna go. The next one. Is this a series? It is. This is the series. Yeah.
Dude, my heart dropped when Kevin Feige announced this, man. Now, to be clear, I was never a huge Daredevil fan when the original series came out. I was not.
Yeah.
I've watched some things. I've read a lot of stories involving him. I was a fan of the Ben Affleck Daredevil when I was a child because it came out when I was 10.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um, that movie's fucking dog shit, by the way.
Fucking electric.
But anyway. So, I was never a huge fan of Daredevil growing up. I was more so like Spider-Man, Batman. Yeah. And then this show, the original show on Netflix came out, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this. Like this looks cool. I'm excited. Did a bunch of research, with the Man Without Fear, the black suit, like the black jumpsuit and the fucking blindfold
bandana
over his face, the do-rag that he just pulls over his eyeballs.
I'm telling you what, dude, some of the fight scenes in
Oh
that
my
series,
god, dude.
like the hallway
Fucking
fights.
incredible.
Oh my god.
Dude. It's like
good.
they tried to one up every season with like a better hallway fight. Like in the first season you had the long like 5-minute hallway fight.
In the black suit.
Second season you had the stairwell fight, I believe it was. Or was that season 3?
I think that was
it was season 3.
What season was it with the Punisher fight?
That was season 2.
So
that's why I'm thinking that the stairwell was season 3 because the Punisher fight scene in the jail cell block was incredible. But dude, when Kevin Feige announced
that freaking
this
stairwell fight, man, like
oh my god,
I don't know how many takes that took, but I feel like it just
probably so many.
Oh, I'd hate the reset on that.
Yeah, right. Let's do it again, guys. Take number 57. Come on, dude.
Extra number 22 lifted his foot wrong. Oh my god.
Yeah. Charlie, you didn't throw that fire extinguisher hard enough. We need to do a full reset. Like, no.
Yeah.
I did everything I could. By the way, did you know that for the first half of season 1, Charlie Cox wore contacts in his eyes that made him completely blind?
I did know that. I heard that.
Like he actually wore contacts that made him blind.
Yeah, like covered his
not medically blind, like that's what the contacts were made for those of you that are listening.
Yeah.
Those contacts were made to like make it nothing but darkness.
Yep. That's insane.
That's crazy. But halfway through the season, he was like, this is too much. Like, I have to take these out every time I go to the bathroom or we're on break or whatever.
Move.
So now he just, and he plays a blind character very good because he can see everything going on, obviously, because he's not blind in real life. But like when he's just like, when somebody's talking to him and he's just like this, like looking off, like
past
like, as if he is blind and like in his peripherals, like he uses his peripherals to see anything that's happening.
Yeah.
Like he'll just be like staring off and like if something's going on like out of frame over here, he'll use his peripherals without moving his eyes.
Yeah.
So
he's very good.
Phenomenal actor. But dude, I am so fucking excited for this season because not only is Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio coming back.
Yep.
This is the first Disney Plus series that is going to be 18 episodes.
Yep.
18 fucking episodes.
That's pretty good.
Holy fuck. And if I'm not mistaken, the Born Again comic book is very, very, very dark.
Is it?
Because
I don't know. Again, I'm not big on the Daredevil, so
I didn't read the Born Again storyline, but I've read like snippets of it, and if I'm not mistaken, this is a time where Matt Murdock is very. So for those of you that don't know, Matt Murdock is a very religious person. He's Catholic, and in the Born Again series, he is basically at rock bottom when it comes to his religion. He's starting to question God. He's starting to not have the faith as much as he used to. He becomes very violent, very, very hostile, very, very closed off. And if I'm not mistaken, the Born Again comic also has him wearing the yellow and red suit.
Could
So,
be. It makes sense to be tying that in with She-Hulk. So
well, yeah, I mean, he's wearing the red and yellow costume in the She-Hulk series. So,
yeah,
dude, I'm super excited for this. I'm again, I how I was talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium being an honor to open up phase 5. It
yep,
must be a tremendous honor for all the cast of that film. I feel like this kind of plays in the same field as that, with being a tremendous honor, because this is the first series
that
at
long.
Disney that is going to be getting 18 episodes. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like this is another one of those, like, wow,
Yeah,
like this is the impact that we've had. Like, this is a true honor being the first series to be an 18 episode series. So, dude, I'm super excited that they're handling this series and this character with all the love and respect that they can. I'm very stoked that they're bringing back Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. I couldn't think of a better actor to portray either character.
yeah. Well,
Um,
while I do miss Michael Duncan Clark as Kingpin, I think Vincent D'Onofrio has done an excellent job.
oh my god, yeah. Oh my god. But dude, I am so excited for this show. Like, I am beyond excited. Oh,
Yeah.
and this is where I wanted to talk about. Can we just talk about how, like, the Multiverse Saga is just basically like, that's just like the placeholder for what this saga is actually called. Like,
Yeah.
this is the Daredevil saga, because this motherfucker's in everything.
Everything. They were like, Charlie Cox, we got you for the next 3
Yeah.
years.
He was like, listen, bro, you're gonna be in everything.
Yeah.
Echo, She-Hulk, fucking
His own series.
18 episode series. Fucking, I wouldn't be surprised if there were some other things that he was showing
I'm
up
sure.
in. Like, this is the Daredevil saga,
Because
dude.
aren't we
Fuck
getting another
Multiverse.
Spider-Man at some point too? So I'm sure he'll be in that.
Yeah, I would imagine at some point. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna be in the Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty. I mean, I would imagine.
With
They
them tying
wouldn't be
everything
bringing in.
together. Yeah.
Exactly. They wouldn't be bringing in all these characters for just like small things, you know what I mean? I mean, look at Charlie Cox. He's in like 4 fucking series, and the motherfucker hasn't been in one of these series yet. So,
Yep.
I mean, they're showing a lot of faith in Charlie Cox as
Yeah.
Daredevil, and I'm so excited
it.
for not only him, but I'm also excited for the series and where it's gonna go.
Yep. I'm with you.
So this original series, it's basically a reboot. They're not. I don't believe that they're going based off of
the
original 3 series.
Okay.
So we'll see where this one takes us.
Gotcha.
The original series arrives spring of 2024 on Disney Plus.
We got a ways.
Super excited.
Yep. Next up on the chopping block, Captain America: New World Order.
I'm stoked.
We see Sam Wilson returning as Cap. No information. So this is a continuation of the Cap storyline, probably shortly after, I would imagine, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, probably.
So
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Although it being that far out, like it's projected to arrive May 3rd, 2024. That far out, New World Order kind of, I mean, maybe it has something to do with Secret Invasion, you know, like maybe they're twisting. So maybe we'll see some sort of like tyrannical, you know, control by Skulls or Doom or something, you know, I don't know. We'll see.
And I mean, Anthony Mackie, phenomenal actor.
100%.
I love Anthony Mackie.
There's something on my microphone. Did you see where there
I told you to stop picking your nose and putting it on the
know.
microphone, dude. Jesus.
It's not rocket. Did you see where there was a news article, or like a couple news articles, that refused to call Anthony Mackie Captain America?
Really?
Yeah. The way they worded it, there was a few of them. They kept saying, Anthony Mackie plays Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, will star in a new movie, Captain America. Not
Wow.
Sam Wilson, or not Anthony Mackie will star as Sam Wilson, Captain America. And people were ripping these news articles apart. They were like, call him what he is. He's not the Falcon. He's not the Falcon anymore.
He is Captain America.
So yeah, that comes out.
I'm excited.
May 3rd, 2024.
I'm excited. Yeah. I like Captain America, and I think Sam Wilson's gonna do the character justice, or Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. Yeah, I agree.
I think he's gonna do the character justice. I'm excited, and the suit that he wears is fucking cool.
I love it.
It looks so cool.
Very good. Yep.
But no information on this other than May 3rd, 2024, yep. Arriving in theaters. So
I like how they have a date, an exact date.
Yeah, right.
May 4th.
They've got a date for quite a few of these.
Like, you can't just tell me May of 24. I'd be perfectly fine with just the month, but they have the exact day. I love it. Anyway,
like they've got quite a few of these movies.
Yeah.
That are like on the money with their time. Like, how do you know that there's not going to be a delay? How do you know?
Yeah, I think they just assume there won't be, and then we'll push it.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this doesn't happen. But what happens if there's another shutdown? Like another lockdown of the world?
All get pushed.
Yeah, like I mean, thank you for giving us a rough estimate of May 3rd, 2024. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, they're usually pretty accurate. They're usually pretty accurate with the release of these.
Yep.
So same with this one. This is such a fucking random time for the next one.
It really is.
July 26th, 2024.
Thunderbolts.
Super excited.
You know, not many people are familiar with the Thunderbolts, or Thunderbolt group, I guess you should call it, because basically what the Thunderbolts are Marvel's Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And there's been multiple iterations of the Thunderbolts over the years.
Yep. One of them was led by Zemo.
Yep.
One of them was led by Zemo. One of them's led by Thunderbolt Ross.
Yep.
You know, so there's
Norman, Hammer, Luke Cage.
Yeah, Norman.
Like there's been, I think, like 5 or 6 different iterations of it. Which
leads me to a question of, when is Norman Osborn going to be introduced? Because I do know in the comic books that with the Thunderbolts, that is when U.S. Agent becomes the Captain America of the Thunderbolts.
Right.
He is hired by Norman Osborn to become the Captain America of the Thunderbolt crew.
Well, if you watched, you know, the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, you see him come in as U.S. Agent at the end, right?
Right.
But he's brought in by, I forget her real name, but in the comics, she's Madam Hydra.
Yeah.
So where are we getting, like, which Thunderbolt team is this?
I feel like I have a theory that it's going to be kind of like a mix up of everybody, because we've got Thunderbolt Ross from not only the Eric Bana Incredible Hulk, but also the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk. We've got him. We've got Wyatt Russell playing, that's Kurt Russell's son for people that don't know. We got Wyatt Russell playing U.S. Agent John Walker.
Yep.
We've got what's his face playing Zemo. I don't know that guy's name. I can't remember that guy's name. But we got him.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but
playing Zemo. So like, I feel like I wouldn't really call it a theory. It's just like a thought, is that we're going to kind of get like a mixture of all of them.
Yeah. I mean, so if you kind of look at the background of like all of the different Thunderbolts, right? All the different groups. So you've got Zemo's Thunderbolts, Norman Osborn, Hammer, Luke Cage, Red Hulk, which obviously that's Ross.
Thunderbolt.
Yeah. Winter Soldier, Punisher, and then Mayor Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. And when you look through the names, right, of like who's appeared in each Thunderbolt, you see some familiar names, some not so much, right? So you've got Batroc the Leaper, which we've seen him. Taskmaster, we've seen that character.
I don't even know if we could say that we've seen that character.
Fair. Ghost, we've seen Ghost.
She was awesome.
Yeah. We've kind of seen an iteration of Citizen V, but not really. Basically, Citizen V was Baron Zemo in disguise. So
right.
You know, we've seen Winter Soldier. So again, with all these different Thunderbolt characters, we've seen. I really, the one that we've seen the most of is Red Hulk's Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Because you've got Ross, Deadpool, Elektra, and Punisher, but you've also got Agent Venom.
Yeah.
Which is, if you don't know, that's Flash from Spider-Man.
Yeah, Flash Thompson.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what they do with that.
I think it's exciting though. This is going to be the end of Phase 5, which is something that we've never seen before in the MCU. We're getting a bunch of characters that we know very little about. I mean, obviously we know some of them, like Thunderbolt Ross, Zemo.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got a little bit of John Walker in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he's just he's a whiny
agent.
little bitch is what he is.
Yeah. But we haven't seen a lot of these other characters. Either they've never been introduced, they've only been mentioned, or they just don't fucking exist yet.
Yeah, like again, like I said, and each name that I named there was from a different roster.
Right.
There was many more that we haven't even remotely heard or seen yet. So
yeah. Because I mean, we can't even say that we've seen Deadpool yet because he's not in the MCU. He's coming to the MCU, but we haven't actually seen him yet. So I can't even say that we know that he exists in the MCU.
Right.
You know, but I mean, overall though, I'm excited because this is a lot of the movies and shows coming into rounding out Phase 4 and then starting Phase 5. People that we've never seen.
Yeah.
Characters that we've never seen, characters that have never been introduced into the MCU yet. So we get to see a lot of new stuff.
That's what I'm liking because, you know, we've kind of been stagnant in the fact that we've had the same characters for so many years. And then the last, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, we've been, like I said, they've been kind of going out of the norm of the you know, Fab Five basically, and
exactly
bringing in these new characters, which I'm glad they're doing. I'm glad we're seeing more than just, you know, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Cap,
Captain America,
Cap, Thor. Like we've done that, and we're over it. Let's bring in some new characters. Right. And you can, you know, splash in the originals, but
yeah. And I actually funny that you say that because I was posting that shit all over my my personal Facebook page. Like the list of Phase 5 stuff. Yeah. And the two guys that I used to work with, one he was like, dude, I'm super excited for Black Panther. I was like, yeah, me too, bro. Like I was like, that's gonna be lit. And then the other guy, he was like, I was starting to wonder where Phase 4 was going because there was really nothing connecting anything. And like, I'm really hoping they don't like rush it along. And I was like, well, I mean, Phase 5 is 2 years worth of 3 years worth of content. And so is Phase 6. Like we are building up. We're going to have another. Yeah, it's going to be another 4 to 6 years before we get to the big event.
I'm going to be 50 years old walking with a freaking stroller trying to watch freaking who knows what.
And then he tried to argue with me. He was like, yeah, but that's not what we want. He was like, the original saga took 10 years of buildup. And he was like, we need another 10 years of buildup. And I was like, the fuck we do?
But it is gonna be that though. Like just because it took 10 years to get to phase 4, like we're going through 3 phases, 4, 5, and 6 within about 3 years. So
yeah. And he was like, you can't tell me that 3 to 6 years is good enough build up for these next Avengers movies. And I was like, listen, dude, first off,
it doesn't always have to come down to the Avengers. I'm sick of seeing the Avengers, man.
And basically what I said to him, I was like, we absolutely can get to that level in 3 to 6 years. Because here's the thing. The first 3 phases of the MCU needed to take 10 to 12 years to build up, because this is the first time we're ever seeing the formation of the Avengers.
Exactly. It took that long. Now that we've surpassed the base, they have a solid base to stack upon with the rest of these. They're like, all right, we know we have something. Yes, it took a while. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
We can now introduce not only known characters, but start bringing in these groups that no one's familiar with. Thunderbolts, you know.
And what
Echo.
I explained to him, I said to him, so I was like, listen, I said, we don't need another 10 to 12 years of buildup, because now for the first 3 phases, Iron Man had 3 movies. Captain America technically had 3 movies. Thor had 3 movies. Fucking every fucking movie in those first 3 phases. Yeah. Every movie in phase 3 were multiple solo adventures for a certain character.
Yep.
But now we've got TV shows. We don't need 3 movies to explain to us who Moon Knight is. We don't need 3 movies to explain to us who Miss Marvel is.
We get
a 6 to 9 episode show where each episode is an hour long. That is a full-blown story. And I said to him, with Moon Knight, they took a villain that was only in 2 comic book issues. 2 comic book issues. And they made it an 8-episode series where he was the main villain and gave him a full-blown story. We don't need another 12 fucking years of build-up to get us to the next big threat.
Not when we can do these TV series. Again, 8 episodes, 10 episodes, an hour long, hours and change, you know, maybe 45 minutes, right? Exactly. And when you're talking that we're watching these movies over the past 10 years that are what, 2 hours, 2.5, you can tell a lot in 8 episodes, an hour at a time. So
100%. And they've done a great job at doing that.
I agree.
We don't need another 12 fucking years of build up. I don't want another 12 years of fucking build up. Not that I don't enjoy everything that they're throwing at us. It's just an unnecessary buildup that could be pushed down into a 6-year sentence.
Yep.
All right. So Thunderbolts, July 26, 2024.
Yep.
Next one. I'm
on the edge of this one. I'm on the edge with this one.
Really?
Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting another Fantastic Four. And I say it like that because
I know where this is going.
We've had so many chances. Now, granted, we haven't had MCU chances with Fantastic Four, right? We've had Marvel Fantastic Four, but it wasn't
produced by Fox,
right? Which was pretty fucking bad. Their actor selection, you know, it is what it is, right? For the 3, and then the last one we just had was just, let's wipe that one off of everyone's memory bank.
I would rather go blind than watch that one again.
So
the first 2, real quick, the first 2, again, they were movies that we enjoyed because we were kids when they came out.
Yeah.
But watching them now, they're not that great.
Yeah. I enjoyed the fact that we got Silver Surfer.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was badass.
That was cool.
But besides that, yeah.
Yeah.
The last, like I said, the last one was just, I got nothing on that.
Right. Yeah,
And
no, that movie fucking sucked.
it was terrible.
It was so bad.
And the reason I'm on the edge with it is because there's been it's kind of that buildup. We've had so much buildup for Fantastic Four that I'm scared. I'm scared for it, you know? I want it to do good. Do good, please.
So,
please do good.
I am worried. I'm worried. Kind of because it's like an Adam Warlock type of situation where like what the fuck took them so long
Yeah.
to introduce the Fantastic Four
Into the MCU.
However, yeah, what took them coming up on, I mean it comes out in 24, so what took them
end of
16 years? Yeah. What took them 14, 15, 16 years, whatever?
Yeah.
What took them so fucking long to introduce the Fantastic Four? You know what I mean? Because they were also a part of the Infinity War saga.
Yeah.
In the comic books. So, you know, I'm worried that not only do they have a release date of November 8th, 2024.
Yeah.
One, they don't have a cast. Two, they're still looking for a director. The movie is written.
Yeah.
But they don't have a director attached to it, nor
Nothing.
do they have a full-blown cast.
That we know of.
So I did see two reports, and I mentioned one of them to you.
Yeah, which that one I saw as well.
However, it's not 100% confirmed because, so the two that I've heard,
you know,
the two that I've heard, number one, somebody was cast as Mr. Fantastic. Somebody. And it was a big name person.
Yeah.
Hopefully John Krasinski. I'm hoping it's John Krasinski.
Same.
But you know, so somebody was cast as Mr. Fantastic. That was a report that I actually saw today, and I believe that was revealed today that somebody had officially been cast as Mr. Fantastic. Now we just need the other three to be cast. But so the other one, the one that I mentioned to you, was reports that Giancarlo Esposito, for those of you that don't know him, he is Stan Edgar in The Boys. He was, I forget the character's name in Breaking Bad, but he was the manager and like the meth overlord in Breaking Bad. I forget what his name was.
Go ahead. I'm reading rumors about the movie.
But there were reports that Giancarlo Esposito was in talks with Marvel just this past weekend, talking about 3 different villainous roles, one of which being Doctor Doom. I think that's a really good casting, purely because Giancarlo Esposito is a very, very, very good actor. However, I do not agree with it if he is cast as Doctor Doom, mainly because Doctor Doom is a very important character.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom's background is a very important plot point. He is a Romanian white male from Latveria, most likely going to be Sokovia in the MCU, because if I'm not mistaken, that's what Latveria is in the MCU. They changed it to Sokovia for the Sokovian Accord. But with a major villain like that, you cannot take their background. You can't change many things about a major character footprint like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like if they do cast him as Doctor Doom, I feel like he'll nail it. I feel like he'll knock it out of the fucking park. However, you're going to have a lot of fans upset,
Yeah.
about the fact that his entire background is being changed because Giancarlo Esposito is not a white Romanian man, you know? So, I mean, I personally, if he could pull the character off, he could pull the character off. You know, I like the comic accuracy of characters. I believe that you could change certain characters, but for other characters you can't change that. And that goes both ways. You know what I mean? That's like, and here's where it gets a little controversial, and this is where we got the warning.
Yeah.
You know, sensitive topics. You cannot, like, you can't just race swap a character because you want to.
Yeah.
You know, like that's like me or Doug being cast as Black Panther. Think about the outrage that the black community would have having one of their superheroes changed into a white male. Not even a white male, any other race that is not of African descent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Like,
rough.
what is your thought? What is your thought on that? It's a controversial thing to talk about. It makes people uncomfortable. You know, but I
It's
feel
not
like
just
it's
that. Like, I don't know. You know, as many times as we've seen these characters changed for one reason or another, whether it's in the comics or not, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, because they may do an excellent job as Doctor Doom.
right,
You know, Victor,
right.
but you know, the background of the character in the comics, it plays a lot into that character.
Exactly. You can't just take the background of a character and do a gender swap, a race swap just because you want to.
You gotta, I
Just
mean, to a certain extent with some of these characters, you have to follow the comic.
yeah. Like
He may be an amazing actor, he may do a great job, but at the
right.
same time,
Exactly.
you're gonna have people not watching it because of one reason or another.
Right.
So,
And you know, it's that's the tough one. That's the controversial thing, you know. I mean, I remember years ago they wanted a black Batman. They wanted to switch the race of Bruce Wayne and make him black.
yep.
Just because, for no reason other than just race swapping the character. And both the black community and the white community were like, why would you do that? Make a new character. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
make a new character. The only way I could see Doctor Doom and his background being changed is if it's not Victor Von Doom. You know, you got like a successor of the original Doctor Doom,
Yeah.
but nobody wants to see that. We want to see the Romanian Latvian version of Doctor Doom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I'm reading this article like as we're talking, and it's just, so supposedly John Krasinski is out.
really,
They're looking at Penn Badgley
Badgley. I can
as
actually get behind that.
as
I can
Reed.
get behind that.
Yeah, that's
He's a
who they're-
very good actor.
He is. I've seen him in a few things. He's a very good actor. Again, this is just reading something. This is actually off of comicbook.com.
Okay.
So I take you know, they normally have their shit together. So yeah, Penn Badgley as Reed Richards. Melissa. Yep. Binley? I don't know. I think she's the girl that played Supergirl on the CW series.
Oh, Melissa Benoit.
Benoit, that's it. It's like, I know I've heard it, I just can't fucking pronounce it. Melissa Benoit and Natalie Dreyer are in discussion for Sue.
Oh, Natalie Dreyer's a good actress. That's the girl from Stranger Things.
Let's see. Jarrell Jerome appeared on the list for an unspecified role. I don't know who that is. I'm like looking up the names as I go. Think. Think. Yeah, I don't know him.
Huh. Who could you see Giancarlo Esposito playing? That's a tough one. I could see him playing a really cool villain, but I just can't think of who I could see him playing as.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like where he'd fit. And while yes, he's a great actor,
I could see him playing the guy Bushman. Bushman. Raoul Bushman from Moon Knight. Remember how I called him Bushmaker and Bushwhacker?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I could see him playing Raoul Bushman. I could 100% see him playing him.
I mean, there's plenty of like, you know, black characters that he could play that I think he'd do a good job because he's a great actor.
100%.
And depending on if the, you know, well, not depending, we know mutants are coming. You've got Bishop, Cloak, Deathlock, like there's a Patriot. If you're wanting to go, you know.
Wait, isn't Giancarlo Esposito Haitian?
Is he Haitian?
He's either Haitian or Cuban, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I mean, his last name's Esposito.
Fair. I'll give you, yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see him. But I mean, Raoul Bushman. I could see him playing Raoul Bushman.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's a weird casting, to be honest, for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would fit as Doctor Doom. I mean, Doctor Doom, again, you got to keep. He's one of those characters you have to keep as the comic accurate version because of the background. The background plays a huge part in his story. So
continue on the reading real quick. Dallas Bryce Howard was also thought to be in consideration for Sue.
Dallas Bryce Howard.
Yeah. And then Simon Baker is wanted for the role of Doctor Doom.
Who?
Simon Baker. He was in the show called The Mentalist. I'm trying to think of what else. He was in Devil Wears Prada. He was in The Guardian.
I'll look him up.
Yeah.
What about Johnny Storm?
Nothing in this article. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Alleged list of options also included Logan Lerman for Johnny Storm. I don't know. I don't know who that is.
All right.
Yeah. Moving on. I think this is the last one on our list.
No, I think we got like two more.
Well, the last one we kind of already touched on.
A little bit. But Fantastic Four in theaters November 8th, 2024.
Yeah.
All right. Kang Dynasty. Avengers Kang Dynasty. The first Avengers movie
since Endgame.
Yeah. Since Endgame. The first Avengers film of two to come out in the same year. Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Yep.
This is going to be the battle. I'm thinking. The battle between the Avengers and Kang the Conqueror.
Probably.
But this is where I think that Doctor Doom is going to team up with Kang. because
be.
that is a very big story in the comic books where Doctor Doom and Kang the Conqueror team up together.
I think it's a crazy gap, to be honest. Going from Secret Invasion to where we're going, like you're
Yeah.
talking, what, 4 years, 3 years. It's a
Uh,
crazy gap going from, yeah. So I know
23,
nothing about Kang.
2 years.
Yeah.
23 for Secret Invasion,
Oh,
and
is
then
it 23?
25. Yeah. And then 25 for both
Oh, it
of the
is spring of
Avengers.
23. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, I know nothing about Kang other than that he's more powerful than Thanos by all means, because again,
Yeah.
Thanos needed the gauntlet to do anything. He was powerful, like he was strong.
Right.
He's a Titan.
Right.
But he needed the gauntlet with the Infinity Stones to do anything. Kang, on the other hand, can just like.
Well, he's like a time master.
Correct. He is actually he is a descendant of Reed Richards.
Yes.
So.
Which is, I believe,
is tying everything together.
I believe that's also why Doctor Doom becomes a part of whatever his mission or plan is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about Kang. I just know that he's cool.
He's powerful.
He's very powerful. We don't know anything about the new Avengers films.
We've
Kang
been given no information either. So.
Oh yeah, these are so the 3 films that were revealed for Phase 6, which I believe Kevin Feige said more Phase 6 projects will be revealed at D23 in September.
Yep.
The Disney convention.
Yeah.
More details will be added to the Phase 6 as well as Phase 5, I believe he said. So
okay.
Yeah, we got Fantastic Four and the 2 Avengers movies. They were revealed for Phase 6.
Yeah.
Kang Dynasty comes out May 2nd, 2025.
Yep.
Followed by
Avengers Secret Wars. Yeah.
Which I am stoked for.
This is that gap I'm talking about, like from Secret Invasion to Secret Wars. Like that's a huge gap, considering like that they basically precede one another in the comics.
Yeah. That's a very big gap. 2 years of other projects before we even see Secret Wars.
Yeah. And
there's a lot going on.
Still continues the Skrull fighting, like between the Illuminati.
Right.
That tells me that hopefully the Illuminati is around for this whole spiel.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, I feel like they will be. I could bet my bottom dollar, bro, that the Fantastic Four will be introduced before the movie actually comes out.
I mean, if anything, they should be introduced in Secret Invasion.
At least a little bit, because I mean, look, think about it. Daredevil, we're not getting a new show for 2 years until 24. We're not getting the Daredevil show. And he's going to be in 3 projects before his show even comes out, because he's also going to be in the animated Spider-Man freshman year show. Which Charlie Cox is going to be voicing him in that as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're getting a lot of content with Daredevil before his show even comes out. So, I feel like we're going to have the same situation happening with the Fantastic Four. It would only make sense to do that because, I mean, you've got all these storylines where the Fantastic Four are, you know, either involved or mentioned. So I don't know. I feel like we're going to get them before the movie itself actually comes out. So I think we could rest easy with that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But dude,
regardless,
so many things
we just have
coming out.
So much for the next 2 years.
I know.
Including
and we didn't even
the end of this year.
We also, I mean, we got all the animated shows, which we could touch on real quick. I'm not really interested in any of them aside from Marvel Zombies, but
not really.
We've got I Am Groot coming out. We've got Marvel Zombies coming out, which is going to be the first TVMA project, which for those of you that don't know, TVMA is the equivalent to an R rating for television.
For cartoons.
It shows that Disney is going in the correct direction in terms of bringing more adult content to Disney Plus and to the adults that want to see a little bit more graphic content.
Yeah.
We've got Spider-Man Freshman Year, which is going to be an animated project as well. Again, Charlie Cox is going to be appearing as Daredevil in that, voicing Daredevil. Tom Holland won't be back as Spider-Man in that as well. Somebody else will be voicing him. I think Tom wants to take a break from being Spider-Man, which I don't fucking know why.
Why? You're making a shit ton of money. Do it, man.
Yeah, dude, for real.
I honestly remember seeing him, and again, this is, you know, that's him and Rihanna. Wait, not Rihanna. What the fuck?
Zendaya.
Yeah, the fuck? It's been a long day. Zendaya want to actually take a break from everything to start a family. Yeah, good for them.
They're kids, man. They shouldn't be thinking about having a fucking family yet. They're younger than both of us.
I know. Not that.
Hey, man, whatever. But yeah. Also, we've got the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special coming out. They're probably going to talk.
That's been announced for like 3 years.
It was. I think they're gonna show us a little bit about it at D23, as well as the Werewolf by Night Halloween special. They believe that's going to be announced at D23 as well, along with a trailer. So maybe we'll get to see Moon Knight in that, because that's where he was introduced in the comic books.
Moon Knight. Yeah.
Main Moon Knight. And there's also heavy rumors that that's where we're going to get to see a little bit of Deadpool 3 news.
Ooh. Really?
So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed. But we're getting to the end of our segment here today. So we got to do our educational and our mashup, and then we're going to send you guys off. You're doing Marvel, right?
I'm on Marvel. You're on Zadis.
Okie doke.
So in light of what's coming, I knew exactly which character I wanted to do for the information, because obviously I'm not hugely familiar, and obviously you've said you aren't as either.
Okay.
If I could get to the damn thing, good lord. By the way, I cut my finger on some cardboard, so that's cool. That shit sucks.
All right. So I've got 2 so far.
Okay.
That I'm like
tossing between.
Yeah. Because, well, one of the ones that I'm thinking is a duo.
Oh, okay.
And it's not Batman and Robin, for those that
Is it the ambiguously gay duo? Have you ever seen that skit?
No.
Mad
What?
TV, I think. It's either Mad
is that
TV...
when Batman and Robin are gay?
Yeah. Well, no,
Oh my God.
It's just like that's what it's called from the skit. It was the ambiguously gay duo.
Oh my God. All right. I'm gonna go with Hawk and Dove.
Okay.
Hawk and Dove from Titans.
Yeah.
So I'll go first, I guess.
I'm good with it.
All right. So Hawk and Dove, they debuted in Showcase number 75, June of 1968.
Mm-hmm.
Their real names are Hank Hall and Dawn Granger. Hank is Hawk, Dawn is Dove. They're based out of Washington, D.C. Hawk is 6'1". Dove is 5'9". 197 pounds for Hawk, 120 pounds for Dove. Brown eyes Hawk, blue eyes Dove, brown hair Hawk, white hair Dove. Hawk's powers and abilities are enhanced agility, strength, body density, and vision, as well as a healing factor. Dove has enhanced strength, intelligence, empathy. She could fly, and she could sense danger.
Okay.
The allies
Oh
are.
no, I'm falling out of the air. I can sense it.
Holy shit! I just got punched in the face. Allies, District of Columbia
Hey, does that
Police
make me
Department.
a superhero? I feel like I can sense danger.
Yeah. Deadman and Batman. Enemies: Alexander Quirk, Condor, Swan. I don't know how to pronounce this one, but the Diak.
Oh my god.
It is literally spelled D-Y-A-K. The Diak.
D-Y-A-K.
Blockbuster, the Hunter, Mr. Twister,
Jesus, where do they go? Where do they come up with this shit?
and the Fearsome Five. So,
I'm pretty sure that's the DAC is what that's called.
So originally, Hank's brother was the first Dove. His name is Don.
Okay.
So when brothers Hank and Don discovered that criminals were planning to murder their father, Don wished they had the power to save him, and divine agencies answered. Brash, aggressive Hank transformed into Hawk, the avatar of war, while calm, rational Don, not Dawn, Don, became Dove, avatar of peace. They saved their father and used their gifts as small town superheroes, and in the Teen Titans. Don died during the Crisis on Infinite Earths. I do remember that. Although bereft, Hawk continued as a lone Avenger, growing ever more enraged without the stabilizing influence of his brother. Balance returned for Hank in the shape of Dawn, his lady.
Okay.
Dawn Granger, selected by higher powers to be the new Dove. And the two heroes reluctantly at first formed a new partnership. Mirroring Hank's relationship with his brother, the duo clashed over ethical questions, with Hank favoring force and Dawn preferring pacifism. Fuck, I can't read tonight.
Yeah.
And reason. What?
I was gonna say that's where I'm at. I can't talk at all.
But they united to face fellow avatars Condor and Swan, as well as the mysterious Diak. Hawk and Dove encountered the Teen Titans while investigating a sinister mystery in the small town of Hatton Corners in the east of the United States, a case that returned to haunt them and which served to reignite their crusade against evil in the post-rebirth era against the reality-shredding threats of Barbatos, the Batman Who Laughs, and Perpetua. On the
Also,
record...
they're new.
Yeah.
They're the Bat Who Laughs.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, they're not... Hawk and Dove aren't new. They're from 1968.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, you did say that, didn't you?
That's in the Rebirth comics.
Oh, okay, I guess.
And then there's a quick little on the record. Pre-Flashpoint, Don and Hank received their powers from the Lords of Chaos and Order and joined the Teen Titans. When Don died during the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Dawn Granger took his place. Their partnership ended when Dawn was seemingly slayed by Monarch, an evil future version of Hank. Hank then became the time-warping villain Extant, and was later killed only to be reborn as a zombie in the Blackest Night when he fought the new Hawk and Dove, Holly and Dawn Granger, and was brought back to life by the power of the white light. Hank and Dove's relationship was marked by tension, but when combined, they could be an unstoppable force for good.
That got real confusing real fast.
Yeah, it did. I was reading that. I was like, well, you guys lost me.
Yeah. So, in light of everything going on and everything we're seeing, I figured I'd give us a little information on Mr. Kang, the time traveling conqueror.
Let's go.
So, real name Nathaniel Richards. Occupation conqueror. His base is mobile. He is 6'3", 230 pounds, brown eyes, brown hair. First appearance was Avengers number 8, September 1964. His powers: he is a master of time travel. Suit provides enhanced strength, force field projection, and energy projection, typically armed with futuristic weaponry. Because, you know, he's a time traveler.
Yeah, he travels through time.
Born in an alternate timeline in 3000 AD, Nathaniel Richards is descendant of Mr. Fantastic's father, who bore the same name. Discovered time travel technology that enabled him to God.
Yeah?
Discovered time traveling technology that enabled him to journey virtually anywhere he liked in the time stream. Richard's first stop was in ancient Egypt, where he seized power and ruled for a decade as Pharaoh Ramatut, until forced to flee after fighting with the Fantastic Four. Arriving in the 40th century, he briefly became the Scarlet Centurion before settling on the name Kang the Conqueror. Kang found the century in turmoil and easy to subjugate. Looking for new challenges, Kang traveled to 1901 and established the city of Timely, Wisconsin.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, in his guise, Victor Timely. So he named the town after himself.
Oh my gosh.
He assembled an elite warrior class.
The Time Stoppers.
The Anachronauts.
What?
Yeah. From all eras of history, before returning to the 40th century, where he fell in love with Princess Ravonna.
Oh my god.
Of course. After her death during a revolt by Kang's troops, he tried and failed to become the consort of the celestial Madonna, Mantis, killing the original swordsman in the process. The future version of Kang, calling himself Immortus, tried to thwart his younger self. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so he tried to thwart his younger self's of aggressive schemes, but Kang would not be contained, and he assembled the original Legion of the Unliving.
I'm so confused right now.
Well,
There's a lot going on.
time travel will do that.
This dude changed his name like 1,000 times.
Yeah, he's literally gone back and forth in time, and then finally falls in love. She gets killed by his own damn troops, and then he tries to deal with his younger self, so it doesn't even happen.
Oh my god.
So a little bit more. It's Kang gathered the alternate versions of himself from branching time streams and formed the Council of Kangs. They killed the duplicates deemed unworthy until only the Prime Kang remained. Kang joined with Libra, the Supreme Intelligence, and the Avengers to prevent Immortus and the Timekeepers from wiping out the multitude of alternate realities. During the battle, Kang and Immortus's histories diverged. Divergence. They talked about that in Loki, by the way.
Okay.
The young Avenger called Iron Lad turned out to be an adolescent Kang, and he fought to separate himself from the future self.
Jesus Christ.
This is so fucking confusing. Yeah.
You chose the most confusing character. I'm not going to remember any of this. But I'm with it.
There's talk of Vision, Black Bolt, Adam Warlock, Multiverse, Inhumans. So they're using Kang to tie everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Cool.
insane. So yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. So pick a page, any page.
Page 94.
94. 87.
Ooh. I got a good one. That's a lot of fucking writing.
Wait, 94 you
Yeah.
said. What is this guy? I'll have you know I have the choice between a very well-known character and a very well not known character. and I'm going with the not known.
All right. You go first.
Okay. We've got today Count Nefaria.
What?
His real name is Count Lucino Nefaria. His occupation is criminal and former head of Nefaria family of Magia. His base is just says various, including a castle in Italy. He's 6'2", 230 pounds, blue eyes, black hair. First appearance was the Avengers number 13. So he didn't show up far after King. That's interesting.
Huh.
Superhuman strength, speed, and resistance to injury. Projects laser beams from eyes, regenerates after injury. It just said resistance from injury and then regenerates after injury.
Oh my
I
god.
wanted to repeat that. Drains energy from other beings powered by ionic energy. Italian nobleman Count Nefaria uses fortune both to finance technology research and to make himself a power in the Magia crime syndicate. Nefaria's wife Renetta died giving birth to their daughter, who would grow up in America as Whitney Frost before eventually becoming the Magia leader Madame Mask. In retaliation for the Avengers' opposition of the Magia, Nefaria framed them for treason. How did one guy frame an entire group for treason? Anyway, the Avengers were cleared, but Nefaria was publicly exposed as a criminal. Imagine that. Amongst his grandest schemes, Nefaria captured Washington, D.C. and held it for ransom, and later took over North American Defense Command Base at Valhalla Mountain. On both occasions, he was thwarted by the X-Men. Later, Nefaria had Professor Ken the 30 endow him with the powers of the Living Laser, Power Man, and Whirlwind.
Oh my god.
And again, so he did all of this as a normal person. And again, battled the Avengers. Soon afterward, he was killed. However, he was returned as a superhuman by the ionic power. He later became the kingpin of crime in Los Angeles.
Huh.
Okay.
All right. So my character of choice is Dr. Fate.
Nice. This chair's killing me.
All right. Let's give some reading material for Dr. Fate. All right. So, he debuted in More Fun Comics number 55, May 1940, as, I guess, himself, as Dr. Fate.
As himself.
Yeah, because now there's what? Oh, that was as Dr. Fate. As his normal self, he didn't appear as his normal self until Convergence Aquaman number 2 in 2015.
The fuck?
Real name Khalid Nassau. Base Tower of Fate, Salem, Massachusetts. Okay.
Imagine that.
5'5". Damn.
Tiny.
120 pounds, dude. Is this
We-
what?
We call that a pocket king.
Fucking brown hair, brown eyes, black hair. Powers and abilities. The Helmet of Fate bestows powers of flight and healing, ability to channel and redirect wind, fire, water, earth, and lightning. Other magical abilities include phasing through walls. Allies, Kent Nelson. Enemies, Anubis, Naboo, Upside Down Man. So I guess he's cool with right side up guy.
Yeah.
And affiliations, Justice League Dark. Naboo returns. Khalid proved to Naboo that there was still a chance for humanity. As a result, Naboo ceded control of his power in order for Khalid to officially become Dr. Fate. Down the millennia, the gods of Egypt have chosen brave champions to wear Naboo's golden helmet and accept the sacred duty of protecting the world as Dr. Fate. When Khalid Nassau was chosen, his world changed forever. He discovered that he now possessed incredible element-controlling powers and soon found himself a member of Justice League Dark. There's so much to read here, so I'm just trying to like skim through some shit.
I'll go ahead and tell you, Dr. Fate would kick the shit out of what's his face. Dr. Fate is a strong DC character.
Oh yeah. So the Tower of Fate. The Tower of Fate has no doors or windows. Its interior is only accessible by magic. Once inside the tower is a twisted maze of stairways and hallways. The law of physics seem not to apply.
Okay.
Future Fate. A Dr. Fate exists as far into the future as the 31st century. The alien Dr. Fate is a proud member of the Galactic Defenders known as the Legion of Superheroes. Okay, here we go. I'll read the on the record. Several heroes have served as Naboo's host, assuming the role of Dr. Fate over the years. Kent Nelson found the Helmet of Fate in an Egyptian archaeological dig and began his career as Dr. Fate in the 1940s. When Kent died 40 years later, the helmet passed to Eric Strauss, who mystically merged with his stepmother, Linda Strauss, to become the second Dr. Fate.
Help me, stepbrother.
Help me, stepmom.
Wow.
After Eric was killed, Linda continued as Dr. Fate and came into conflict with the God of Chaos and possessed Benjamin Stoner, the evil anti-Fate. Really?
That's original.
On Linda's death, Kent Nelson's wife, Inza, briefly succeeded her, after which smuggler Jared Stevens served as the reluctant Fate until the late 90s when he was murdered. Hector Hall, son of the Golden Age Hawkman and Hawkgirl, took the role next, and after he was depowered by the Spectre, Kent Nelson's grandnephew, Kent V. Nelson, became Naboo's host. On Earth 2, Khalid Ben Hassan donned a helmet that imbued him with Naboo's essence. He became that world's Dr. Fate and joined the superhero team, the Wonders of the World. Mystery Man Kent Nelson was a proud member of the first generation of superheroes and a founding member of Justice Society. We've got another Nelson.
Jesus. I'm over the Nelsons.
Alcoholic.
Wow.
Former psychologist Kent V. Nelson was at rock bottom when he found his great uncle's helmet. Soon he rose to become the new Dr. Fate. So I guess he's maintained his alcoholism.
All right.
So, based off of what we've learned off of both characters, I would say that Dr. Fate has that one in the bag. Whichever one chooses. Whichever Fate,
Nelson, they fight.
Whichever Nelson or other one happens to take control
of the
helmet.
I'm with you. Dr. Fate's got that one in the bag.
Yeah,
No
100%.
question. No question on that one.
So that was a lot, dude.
I agree.
That was why are we oh okay. That was a lot to go. Dude, today
We knew
that
there'd
was
be a
a
lot.
big podcast, bro. Oh yeah, we knew it was gonna be a lot. I am tired though.
I'm hungry. The wife's
Yeah, I'm
texting
hungry
me. She's
too.
like, we gotta go.
I'm tired. I'm hungry.
All right.
So, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. It was a 3-hour podcast, man.
Thank
We
you
had
for
a lot to
listening
talk
to
about,
us
though.
while you sit on the shitter at work when you should be working.
Yeah. We got a lot of exciting things coming from Marvel. We got a lot of cool things happening, man. I'm super excited for both Phase 5 and 6. And Phase 6 wasn't even fucking revealed, really, aside from Fantastic Four and the 2 Avengers movies.
Yep.
So, got a lot to come and got a lot of exciting stuff coming.
Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you guys.
He is Brones. I'm that Doug dude.
I'm Brones. And this was Hero Hour Escape from Reality.
Yep.
You guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend.
Or
which
day,
most of you will
whenever
probably listen to this Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a great weekend. Have a great week. We will see you not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Later.
Bye.